done all his life. Ashima Peregrine, the dedicated and aloof monk of the Tongwu Path religion, came to the party from a faraway nation, the nation of Loshar. He arrived in Summer's Rest with his curiously silent master to practice empathy for the world through exploration and the teachings of harmony to all creatures. Although Ashima's short stature and halfling carefree demeanor portray him as naive in the eyes of some, he is quietly believed to be the 11th reincarnation of the great teacher and founder of the Tongwu Path by the ranks of his monastic order. The student robes that he wears represents what he still has to relearn in this life before becoming a teacher to his people again. While his meditation upon the cyclical nature of ki and shadowboxing have always persisted in his life, his path has taken a fork in the recent days. After getting arrested in a mistaken situation while trying to help his friend Bianca, Ashima has been thrust into a group of misfits and young minds. Although trapped in a group, Ashima is always and will always embrace the ebb and flow of fate, and sees this as an opportunity to console the members of his party with guidance and faith. Powasa Inoa, or Po for short, is a water genasi who grew up in the comforts of water's wake. Po's father raised his son with tales of Inoa warriors in the way of the Inoa Forge. Unlike other forges, Po and his father's forge was half submerged underwater. The quick currents of the water and Po's father's magical hammer allowed them to sharpen, shape, and craft beautiful weapons and armor, unlike any other in Bella Clara. Po has not seen or experienced much beyond the forge in Water's Wake, which is very strange for a 17-year-old in Noah. He was raised knowing how to craft the perfect blades, not swing them. He was raised on fulfilling other adventurers' armor and weapons and needs, not equipping himself for his own adventures. Po was called to adventure after he unraveled a secret contract his sick father kept hidden from him. Po fled town in order to fulfill it and help his father and their forge, taking with him only his father's magical hammer and the journal. Though Po finds himself unprepared for this adventure, unworthy of the Inoa name and surrounded by hopeless companions, he's finding that his mission might actually lead him down a glorious adventure. And with every day that passes, he is called more and more to become the Inoa warrior he was destined to be. Bianca Dusong is a purple tiefling who became a blood hunter through nefarious means. She's always had a natural curiosity for the wide, sprawling world she's read so much about. Ever since she was little, she knew her differences from other kids held meaning. Her parents gave her answers, but they were very persistent about protecting her and giving her as normal of a life as possible. She had that normalcy for a while. Her studies in alchemy and her innate gift for botany led her to having a fairly successful business. Knowing this, her parents were soothed and their wishes for their daughter had come true. However, Bianca's curiosity never left her. There's still so many unanswered questions about her family's past which affected her own DNA. This fascination with her genetics and the power that it may hold led her to seek out the old ways of the blood hunters. This new gift is where Bianca feels she'll truly start living. Her call to adventure, discovering her past, and hunting her mark has finally begun. Cecily has spent her entire life either in foster care or fending for herself on the streets. Seemingly nothing has worked out in her favor in her short 15 years of life. But one day, during an emotional breaking point, Cecily suddenly and unknowingly unlocked magical powers within herself. She caused quite a mess, and now, confronted with all sorts of questions about her abilities and purpose, she finds herself on the streets once again, running from what she's done. Her sorcerer powers continue to grow, much to her surprise, but she still has no idea where they came from or how to own them. Ironically, though, she's been pretty lucky lately. She's avoided trouble for the most part, and has actually started to feel okay. It's almost as if the luck she never got as a kid is finally coming back around. If only she was in control of it. Desmond O'Malley is a peculiar dragonborn, to say the least. In a world where the destinies of all dragonborn are decided by the beacons of good and evil, Bahamut and Tiamat respectively, Desmond's short path has been an unusual one that is filled with chaos, uncertainty, and maybe a bit too much competition for his own good. After being forced to travel from town to town in order to make his living as a thief on the streets, Desmond found what he believed to be his home in the fighting pits of Water's Wake, the same fighting pits where he became known as the Bronze Shiv. While living as a fighter, Desmond was given the opportunity in which he was told that he should throw a match in the ring. He would be gifted information that may help him find his destiny and what it was truly meant to be. But if he didn't, there would be grave, grave consequences. Rather than follow blindly down a path given to him, Desmond chose to uproot his life once more in order to forge his own destiny, as he had done all his life. Ashima Peregrine, the dedicated and aloof monk of the Tongwu Path religion, came to the party from a faraway nation, the nation of Loshar. He arrived in Summer's Rest with his curiously silent master to practice empathy for the world through exploration and the teachings of harmony to all creatures. Although Ashima's short stature and halfling carefree demeanor portray him as naive in the eyes of some, he is quietly believed to be the 11th reincarnation of the great teacher and founder of the Tongwu Path by the ranks of his monastic order. The student robes that he wears represents what he still has to relearn in this life before becoming a teacher to his people again. While his meditation upon the cyclical nature of ki and shadowboxing have always persisted in his life, his path has taken a fork in the recent days. After getting arrested in a mistaken situation while trying to help his friend Bianca, Ashima has been thrust into a group of misfits and young minds. Although trapped in a group, Ashima is always and will always embrace the ebb and flow of fate, and sees this as an opportunity to console the members of his party with guidance and faith. Powassa Inoa, or Po for short, is a water genasi who grew up in the comforts of Water's Wake. Po's father raised his son with tales of Inoa warriors in the way of the Inoa Forge. Unlike other forges, Po and his father's forge was half submerged underwater. The quick currents of the water and Po's father's magical hammer allowed them to sharpen, shape, and craft beautiful weapons and armor, unlike any other in Bella Clara. Po has not seen or experienced much beyond the forge in Water's Wake, which is very strange for a 17-year-old in Noah. He was raised knowing how to craft the perfect blades, not swing them. He was raised on fulfilling other adventurers' armor and weapons and needs, not equipping himself for his own adventures. Po was called to adventure after he unraveled a secret contract his sick father kept hidden from him. Po fled town in order to fulfill it and help his father and their forge, taking with him only his father's magical hammer and the journal. Though Po finds himself unprepared for this adventure, unworthy of the Inoa name and surrounded by hopeless companions, he's finding that his mission might actually lead him down a glorious adventure. And with every day that passes, he is called more and more to become the Inoa warrior he was destined to be. Bianca Dusong is a purple tiefling who became a blood hunter through nefarious means. She's always had a natural curiosity for the wide, sprawling world she's read so much about. Ever since she was little, she knew her differences from other kids held meaning. Her parents gave her answers, but they were...
And we are live. Hello there. Thank you for bearing through that small delay. Welcome to Roll with Advantage. My name is Joe, and welcome to the Salamander Coast campaign, streaming every Tuesday at 5:32. Most times it's 5:32. But right around 5:30 is when this campaign starts off, and we are here right now. So before we get started, as always, there are a few things I need to say. Ever the loquacious. Yes, hello, Lisa. How's it going? Unacceptable, frankly? No, Jamie, forgive me. First things first, as always, I would like to give a warm, very huge thank you to our artists. Lisa, who's in the chat. Gemma, oh, spelled it wrong. Oopsie. Artists, there we go. Plural. Lisa for doing the art for the Isles of Avarion thumbnail Gemma for the artwork that she's done for the character portraits and Dwarven runes for the Isles of Avarion, and Andy Bromanchek, who is not one of the players in the campaign. I wish he was, but he's not. Who did the art for the Explorers of Afera and for the Salamander Coast, which you're watching currently. I'm living barely. I feel you, Lisa. I feel you. But things are about to get a lot better, because I, for one, have all of my technology figured out before the session started, so I'm feeling very calm today. If you watched on Saturday, I was not calm. I was very agitated the entire time, very sensory overload. But I'm here now. Got my water. I've got 2 Slim Jims in case I need them. And I've got a Monster energy drink, which I don't need and I shouldn't drink, but I will because I'm addicted to caffeine. So, does anybody else have anything they'd like to add? Wait, what Joe prepared?
I don't think so. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, okay. Look at that. Yes, thank you for watching. So, I think with that, we should roll the intro and then we should go ahead and get started.
Theme song, play.
Oh. Oh. All right, and we are back with the fucking Macho Man Randy Savage. So real quick, yeah, they're good.
Have it to a Slim Jim. Got 5 minutes of playtime. Okay, I'm done.
So a few things that I want to say real quick before we get started. For one, Lisa, how dare you not know what a Slim Jim is? It can take a lot of differences between cultures, but this is unacceptable. As Macho Man Randy Savage is my personal, not spiritual animal, because that's Jack Black, but I don't know.
He's like, you know,
my spiritual guide.
Yeah.
That's too Macho Man Randy Savage is to me. He's my guardian angel.
I would just like to say, as another American in this group, I think it's really fine if you don't know what a Slim Jim is. In fact, I'd almost prefer that you don't.
Nope. Mark, you're kicked from the group. Get here. Get out.
All right.
No, wait, don't leave the Discord call. It'll mess up the stream overlay.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are those, like, what are they, cowtails?
Boom.
Like, the like gas stations. We can agree that those are icky.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
No, no, those are just bullseyes in stick form, and I fucking love bullseyes.
All right, well,
okay.
Okay, well, this is a great conversation to have over the break, because I think for now we need to get into the game. So, thank you all for tuning in, and I think that we should go ahead and get started with this sick-ass music playing right now. I love this track so much. Russian Winter. Hell yeah. All right. Fits so well with Bella Clara.
Why is it rushing?
It does.
All right. So, let's go ahead and dive right in. So, last we had left off, these newly founded group of adventurers, the Runaways, as they had taken to calling themselves and being called by other people. They had left the city of Summer's Rest after doing quite a bit of good for the town there, but wanting to expand their horizons, wanting to see the world and what it had to offer. The party left behind Summer's Rest and a lot of the allies that they had made, and the 4 of them headed off into the greater wide world. Now, 2 caveats. For one, the party is accompanied by a Goliath by the name of Keothi Anakalathai. The mouthful of a name that is, she allows the party to call her Keo. Keo, a very soft-spoken and thoughtful I think is the best way to put it. Goliath woman who tends to speak softly and carries no weapons. One of the things that you all have been able to gather is that it seems as though in a very similar path as Ashima, combat and bodily harm seems to be a last resort, and well, there might even be something more to it than that. But things are still left to be discovered about Keothi. The other thing is the party of 4 used to be a party of 5. Originally, when they had set off from their respective locations and fell into this whirlwind of chaos that was the start of their lives as adventurers, there was a 5th person who accompanied them, Powassa Enoa, a descendant, supposedly, of the Enoa line. These fabled heroes of Illica, ones who served Astitia and worshipped the 4 primordial entities of earth, wind, fire, and water. A descendant of that, allegedly. Someone destined for greatness. A paragon of law and justice. But being called to such great things, well, at least in this circumstance, pulled Poe away from the group that he had begun to make connections with and truly began to care about, but knowing that he would be back as soon as he possibly could. Poe being gone, but hopefully, fingers crossed, on the return soon. Maybe next week, who knows, we'll see. But Poe being on his own adventures. Tune in on next Monday to find out what those adventures are. So, the party anticipating the return of Poe, hopeful and looking forward to it. But for now, they have their own problems to deal with on their journey. The first stop they made, past the temple nearest Summer's Rest, was to the Old Spire Outpost. Old Spire Outpost being a small tower constructed, as the party had found out, by Goliaths a long time ago. Anywhere between 600 and 1,000 years ago was this tower made, and still stands to this day. But the nation of Bella Clara has outfitted it to fit their purposes, doubling as a campsite and a pit stop and toll road of a sort for anyone traveling north or south through Bella Clara. So, the party gets curious about these towers and what they might mean after learning what purpose they might have served from Keothi. They, as the party, decide to venture out into the wilderness to see what they might be able to discover. Well, they discover, as you would in a winter wood full of dangers around every corner, a group of bandits, or at least squatters, living in a keep that apparently was made by Keothi's people a long time ago. The party collects some information. There are apparently at least 2 groups who are active throughout these woods. There are the Crystal Companions and the Pack, not really knowing exactly what either one of those are, but they do have the names. The only other thing they discovered is that there might be some connection between the outpost and whoever is the captain of the outpost and a man named Daimar, who apparently must be the leader of the group of bandits who are at this keep. So, armed with that information, before charging headfirst into danger, the party decides that it might be best to investigate a little bit. Crazy stuff, right? So the party begins to make their way from that old abandoned keep built by Keothi's people some 600 to 1,000 years ago. That's back to Old Spire Outpost, the place where they had been camping for the previous night, to see what they might be able to find. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and move you guys forest here. So I'll go ahead and move this here. Alrighty. So, the 5 of you make your way from that outpost all the way back to Old Spire, from that keep all the way back to Old Spire Outpost. Now, because of your different skills that you applied in Keothi's map-making, cartography, there's no need for any checks necessary. You have a very clear way to get from that keep back to Old Spire Outpost. So easily enough, you make your way through the forest following Keothi's map, and you emerge back at Old Spire Outpost. You can see the different tents set up in a row. Excuse you. For some reason, Fog of War is enabled, which is really funny. Get out of here. We don't want you. There you go. Look at that. Look at that beauty right there.
There is canonically fog this morning.
Yeah, the slow, cold fog rolling over Old Spire Outpost eventually begins to clear the closer you get to it. You can see the different camps set up, the fires smoldering and burning around each campfire, people preparing breakfast and breaking bread. And with that, you arrive back in Old Spire Outpost, so I open it to you for... Oh! Whoa!
Sorry.
That's okay. So I open it up to the four of you. At least it waited until the end there. That was nice of it.
That was good.
What would the four of you like to do? You're back in Old Spire Outpost. You want to do some investigating? What's that investigating look like?
I recall that Cecily and Desmond hatched a little planny plan. She was going to use Alter Self to kind of get back into camp without anyone knowing it was them, and then Desmond was going to come for backup. And then, yeah, we talked about that a little bit, right? But I have yet to pick a disguise and all that. So.
Okay.
So, I mean, Cecily will just probably go ahead and turn to the group and just, all right, well, tell me what you want me to go figure out, and I'll go figure it out.
Well, it seemed as though what my primary concern is that the guards here have some sort of working connection with, well, those men out in the woods. I think that any information, even if it's incorrect information, could help us. If they don't want us investigating and simply want to redirect us, that tells us far more than if they were truthful with us.
Right. Okay.
I may just poke around and ask about ruins, some of the guards, and, well, as long as you've no need to, as long as you're in disguise, you might as well ask anything you like. Going as far as to even mention the group out there.
Okay. Here's an idea. Disguise myself as a dainty traveler, and I say that I ran into some bad people at a ruin, and then I read the room. See how they react. See if they're hiding anything.
Idea.
Alrighty.
Well, perhaps it's important to only reach for what is within the length of our arm, as far as disguises go.
Huh? What?
I simply mean, Cecily, do you truly want to portray a dainty traveler?
Yeah, it'd be funny.
Are you... Well, I trust you.
Yeah, alright.
I mean, the worst thing
Okay.
that happens is that we don't get any more information and we're just equally as confused now. Like, I don't think anything could go super wrong there.
No, this is true.
Okay then. Well, guess I'll go do my thing real quick. Desmond, you gonna come, or you just gonna?
Yeah, I right behind you. Sorry,
All right.
a little out of it today.
Okay. Cecily will clock that as unusual behavior from Desmond, but she will go ahead and start pursuing this then.
Okay. Sounds good.
I'll be behind her, hood up, not stealthing necessarily, but not trying to draw attention to myself.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and do this. It's okay. So we'll go ahead and do this. Ooh, that's probably a not good noise. Let me get my dice all set up over here. So what I'd like to happen right now is, Desmond, I'd like you to go ahead and make a stealth check for me, as you're just trying to trail her passively without being noticed. We'll count that as...
Ooh.
Man, been hanging around Keothi a little too much. The subtle art of stealth has been lost to Desmond. He is a little out of it. So, let me move these.
Desmond is very out of it.
Yeah.
A lot on his mind.
So, sorry. Some of these off to the side. Gotcha. Alrighty. So then, Cecily, what I'd like you to do is, just right now, I'd like you to make a deception check with advantage, just in case you do run into anybody along your questioning who maybe thinks that you might be being a little sus.
Okay. Jeez.
Alrighty.
Well, this is about to go extremely poorly.
Well, let's see what's happening. Okay. So, Desmond, you kind of throw your hood up, the hood that Keothi just made for you, and you can tell that she tried her best to make it a little bit smaller, but the issue you find is that as you're trying to move cautiously throughout the streets and cautiously throughout the area, the hood keeps falling down a little bit, and you keep stumbling a little bit, having to push it back, and it's this sort of just thing in your way constantly, just a barrier being able to see, to be able to focus on what you need to focus on. And on top of that, you have a million other questions in your head surrounding what you discovered just last evening and part way through this morning. So, as you're trying to keep an eye on Cecily and where she's going and trying to be able to follow her best you can, you end up bumping into a couple of guards. One of which being Tommen, the young man who you had lied to about your name the previous evening. He says, Master Desmond? See, you're not going to trick me this time. I got you. And as you're trying to look, eventually Cecily kind of gets lost in a crowd. He's like, so is there anything I can help you with, or do you need anything? I mean, honestly, I feel bad about mixing up your name, and I know that you were just trying to play a prank, but I feel like I should have remembered it, and I just feel kind of silly for it. So.
It's quite okay. I'm just, trying to find my friends again. They seem to have went out for a walk or something this morning, and I didn't get to catch up with them, so I'm looking for them right now. But thank you. I think I can manage on my own. And I will try to, without getting a response, cut away and keep going.
Okay. Persuasion check for me.
Persuasion. Not deception?
No, because you're trying to convince him. Okay, still. Yeah, it's
much
still,
better.
Look at that. So he's like, if you say so, but I just like to make it, and he's gone. Okay, all right, well. And he kind of looks at the guard next to him and is like, deflates and walks away with his...
Is Cecily gone by this point?
Yeah, at this point, you don't have any idea where she is. You can go ahead and make an investigation check real quick to see if you can find her. Okay. So, Cecily, in the meantime, so we'll get to you in a second here, Desmond. In the meantime, you have your disguise on, alter self. Luckily, you're rather convincing. So we'll just see what happens. So what is Cecily, or whoever this alter ego's name is, what are you trying to do? Where are you going first?
Alrighty. First off, disguise's name. Let's go with let's go with Ellerin. Sure, that's a name. Is that anything that already exists?
I don't think so.
Hopefully not. All right, cool.
Ellerin. Gotcha. Alrighty, Ellerin.
She's gonna practice saying Ellerin first off, because I can't. But So I'm gonna make myself quite a bit taller.
Okay.
Give myself a much more adult appearance, hopefully like 30s or something around there.
Gotcha.
Have long, well-kept hair that indicates that I am not used to traveling. Yeah. And then I'm and like a fancy silky dress thing. So it really looks like I'm just some lass from the road. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and try to remain somewhat calm. But I'm gonna look like I'm just coming in and pull some random person aside and just, excuse me, you know where I might be able to find a guard around here?
So you pull off to the side this work gentleman, either lithe in build, heavy furs, light leathers, and he says, "A guard? I mean, they've been patrolling all up and down the road, but I'd say if you're looking for somebody to talk to in a warm place, I'd probably head to the Spire up there. That'd probably be your best bet. Do you need any help getting there? I'd be more than happy to walk you."
No, I'll be quite fine on my own. I've made it this far. All right, thanks.
Suppose you're right. Light guide you. Then he turns away and walks away.
Alrighty. And so I'll just start heading there, and I'll peek around for Desmond, and just. All right, fuck, he's gone. Cool. Awesome. It's always just me. It always comes down to just Cecily. And I mean, I'll hang out by the pinch to see if he comes up again, but other than that, I'm just gonna go right into the Spire and find a guard if I can.
Okay. All right. So if you hang out for just a minute to walk around, eventually, Desmond, you are able to move around a little bit and get eye contact on her. So Desmond, I'll have you make one more stealth check for me. Okay. What's your passive perception, Cecily?
Ooh, not awesome. Like 11.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
you
11.
don't notice Desmond being subpar at stealthing right now.
Good.
Yeah, so you don't see him, but Desmond, you do see Cecily, which is probably for the best.
All right. Right. I'm gonna sit there for a minute and just. You know what? I can't see him. Nobody else can see him. Maybe he's doing real fucking great. All right, cool. Let's go. And I'm gonna just go ahead on by myself. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get inside, and as soon as I see a guard at the entrance place, I'll grab one by the shoulder and just. I think I have a little bit of a report to be making to one of the guards. Do you think I could do that?
You sort of tug on the shoulder of this very, very stocky human woman, long red hair, and breastplate armor with a fur cloak on, and she says, "You have a complaint to make, or just a situation to report?"
No, not a complaint. No, it's just a little bit of a situation's probably a good word for it. Yeah.
Very well. Situation to report. What exactly is the problem? And you can see there are two other guards standing near her that begin to sort of look at you and focus on what you're saying.
Bandit problem. Might be something I should report privately, like in a room alone or something.
Did you see them on the road, or was it out in the forest?
No, there's like I don't know, an old rocky place. Fuck you call those, like a ruin or something.
And you can see all three of the guards get a little uncomfortable and say, "Please, come in. You should report this to Captain Resnick." And they...
Resnick. Okay.
two of them open up the door and head in, and the third one, the woman with the red hair, gestures you in.
Alrighty.
A little bit more Slavic.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just wanted to get that down for note taking.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Cool.
So, gestures for you to go into the Old Spire Outpost.
Alrighty, cool. I will go ahead and find this Reznik, and I will go ahead and introduce myself as Ellerin when I see them, and yeah.
So you can see that sitting around a table, there are currently 4 people, each one wearing, as all the guards here are, varying degrees of either half-plate, breastplate, or full-plate armor. But you can see one man who actually you do remember, the one who, when you all first got here, in purple enameled armor with a gold trim on it, and then on the breastplate of the full-plate armor, the two lions back to back with 3 golden stars on the breastplate. It's a little hard to tell. His hair is very stark white, but his facial features look very young, and he actually looks similar to Poe, as he almost looks touched by a primordial plane. And Cecily wouldn't know, but you can see that sometimes his beard or his hair just slowly begins to be pushed by a gust of wind, even though you're in a completely insulated building. So you can see that 4 people around a table are currently playing a card game, and it kind of looks like the one Bianca plays, but you're not exactly sure. It could be anything, really. And Reznik is just sort of holding his cards in his hands, close to his chest. He says, no, that is not how Trevor Lee Klaus III works. That's not how that card... And then the 3 guards come in with you, and they all kind of stop playing their game. And the Air Genasi, Captain Reznik, he looks up and says, one moment. And sets the cards down on the table. Says, does there seem to be a problem here? Ma'am, it's a pleasure to meet you. Yes, I'm Captain Reznik. Mm-hmm. That's me.
Ellerin is my name.
Ellerin, it's a pleasure to meet you. Is there something we can assist you with?
Well, I was told to talk to you about some bandits that might have been near a ruin.
And you can see the woman with the red hair and Captain Reznik there share a look. And Reznik just sort of whistles, and all of the other guards, they kind of abruptly stand and begin to put on their cloaks and begin to file out, except for the woman with the red hair and 2 other guards. And there's just this awkward silence as the rest of the guards are beginning to file out. And he says, Ellerin, was it? Mind if we take a seat together?
A lot of to-do about this group. Did I stumble into something?
Yes. Yes, you did. Please, have a seat.
I am always one for a good story. And I'll go ahead and take a seat. Be a coy motherfucker.
Okay. So, take a seat, and Reznik sits down and starts to undo his cloak and set it down on the chair, catty corner to him, and sort of leans back in the chair and crosses his arms and says, so, which ruin was this? North, east, southwest?
Don't know if I could really name them, but I can point in the general direction I was from. Don't know too much about this stuff, I think. But I'll go ahead and point where we were headed.
Okay. Must have been the Scalebacks then. Did they hurt you? Threaten you anyway?
Well, truth be told, I don't know if they noticed me, but I noticed them, and they seemed to be talking about some, dangerous things. Didn't seem like people that should have been there, all carrying weapons and whatnot. Didn't look like proper guards, so...
No, they're not. We have made deals. Typically, people don't like to travel out in the wilderness, so it usually never comes up at all. Typically, most normal people like to stick to the roads. Which, I'll get to that in a second, but provided you don't go anywhere near there, and that none of these people here know about that ruin, everything will be fine. They won't bother you. They won't bother us, and we won't have to bother them.
Oh. So they must be pretty tough shit, huh?
Exactly are you trying to get at? I don't mean to be rude, but typically when I tell any normal traveler that they're bandits and that we have deals, they say, "Oh, yes, sir." And then they depart, head on their way, and they stay on the road. So,
Well, I just
Elloren,
don't think. I don't think I've heard of such a thing. A deal. Just hoping you would talk about that a little bit more. I mean, if they were just normal criminals, why wouldn't you go deal with them?
because at the end of the day, a deal is a deal. Doesn't matter how old or how new it is. That deal needs to be kept. So, Miss Elloren, if there are no other questions, I believe that it might be best for you to stay at the Old Spire outpost for as long as you need to, and then whenever you go to leave, make sure you stay on the road. We keep the roads safe, and they stay off of the roads. If you see them on the road, come and find me immediately. We'll have them dispatched immediately. But if you go into the forest, you're their game. And there's nothing we can do to protect you.
Huh. Well, all right then. I guess I'll just keep the name in mind in case I run into them on the roads at all. Scaled back, you said?
Yeah, it's the name they had taken to calling themselves. There are two that operate in the winter woods. There are the scalebacks. You'll be able to identify them by having small bits of what would almost look like bright red fabric that give off smoke and steam. And then there's the pack. Each member of the pack has their own wolf that they fight and communicate with. But those are the only two that are active out there.
Huh. Wow. Didn't realize there was this much history out of the cities. Well. Okay. Maybe I was being a little foolish. I'll stick to the roads from now on.
Yes, if you would one day like to pursue adventuring to try and delve into these ruins, I recommend you pursue it in the guild in Belka. It'll be your safest bet to learn the skills necessary to actually survive out there.
All right. Well, I don't know if I'd be doing that anytime soon.
Of course. And if you don't mind me asking, Elloren, exactly are you heading? Did you come from the north or the south? Because that outpost is directly east of you. So you must have been a long way off the road for quite a while if you just stumbled upon it.
It's a little bit of a silly story. I was upset with someone, so I was running off. Something I'm used to doing.
Interesting story. Well, next time you get mad, run north or south, not east or west. The roads are safe.
But Resnick, then they would find me.
Well, better they found you than what lurks out in these woods.
All right. Well, thank you then. Guess I'll be out of here. I'll be headed back home, suppose. All right then. You have a safe time out here, whatever it is you're patrolling and all that.
Thank you. Light guide you.
Right. Light guides you too. All right. And I will exit this room and then exit the old spire as long as no one stops me and wait to catch up with Desmond again.
Alrighty. So, easy enough. You head out, and then you head out of the tower itself. And Desmond, you are able to easily spot her come out as you saw her go in. Cecily, you kind of wander a little bit away until eventually, you find Desmond. Desmond finds you. So, Desmond, how are you approaching Cecily at this moment?
Well, I figured I would kind of have walked around the side of the tower, trying to stay out of sight as much as I can, and when I see her pop out of the door, I'll wait a few moments and kind of make my way through anybody who's walking around and then catch up with her that way, after she's out of sight of the guards.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Perception check. I have low wisdom.
Okay, sounds good to me. All right. So, at least as far as you can tell, the guards are out of sight. And you're able to see Cecily kind of wandering about. So you're able to freely approach her.
Okay, I will do such. And I'm not going to walk up right next to her. I'll probably just kind of walk catty corner behind her, and I'll just say, any news?
Yeah, let's just walk awkwardly like this for a little bit until I can change back. I'll tell you in a minute. And then, as soon as I can, I shall schloomp out of my alter self form and back into Sessa form. Formally. No, that's neither of those. Never mind. I will back. I'm Cecily again. Anyway, so shift back and. Okay, so were you very hidden or lost?
You know me. What do you think?
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. There's fucking doubt, Desmond. That's the question.
Well, I found you, didn't I? So that means that I must have had an eye on you the entire time. For all you know, I was in the room while you were talking to them.
Okay. Well, okay, so there's, I mean, you already know this since you were in the room, but there's, scalebacks, and then there's the pack, and, the different bandit groups, and, apparently, you know what? I'm gonna tell you this when we're back with the others.
It makes the most sense.
Yeah, what the fuck are we doing? Alright, and I'll... I will
Adventure.
continue. Adventure! I'm gonna continue to get with the rest then. But as we're going back, I would like to take an opportunity to just... So, fucks up with you, huh?
What do you mean?
You're just, not irritating. So, something must be very wrong with you.
I didn't sleep very well, that's it. I just don't have the energy to put into trying to irritate you today.
I don't know if I buy it, Desmond, because I don't sleep well, ever. So I know who sleeps well.
So you should know that when I do sleep well, I usually bother you.
You know what? Fuck you. Let's just go back. It's fine.
Okay. So, before the two of you are able to get back, as you're making your way down the main street, the main road that leads from all the way from Belka all the way up to Summer's Rest and Water's Wake, as you are crossing that road, I'm just kind of curious. Cecily, your passive perception is 11. Desmond, what is yours?
Like 9, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, 9.
the two of you do not notice it until it is too late. As you all are making your way across the thoroughfare, heading back towards where Bianca and Ashima and Keothi would be, there are 4 or 5 guards that begin to encircle the two of you. And there is one guard, none of them the captain, none of them that you recognize aside from you, Cecily. You recognize the one red-haired woman, who now has currently a half cloth helm, and says, "Stop right there. I think that it is best that the two of you follow us."
What for?
Now, Cecily, would your disguise have dropped by this point?
Yes.
Because it is requested by Captain Resnick, Ellerin, and Master Desmond.
Who's Ellerin?
Exactly. Now, you can either come with us peacefully, or we can put you in chains and shackles and drag you there.
Alright, cool, fuck. I mean, you're not gonna like this version of me, but take me back.
Okay.
Trust me, you really won't.
Alrighty. So you can see that all 6 of those guards had their hands right on their sheath ready to draw, but they relaxed a little bit now as they're walking around the 2 of you heading back towards the old spire. So Bianca and Ashima, you would have been able to see that Cecily and Desmond were almost back into the forest, just crossing that road, ready to come back out there. But you saw the guards sort of circle around them. Few words were exchanged, and then they started to walk back towards the old spire outpost. So, you see them are beginning to taken away. Now, are the two of you doing anything in response to this, or are you just kind of going passively?
I'm going to drag my tail on the... Is it snowing right now?
No, not on the road right now.
Is there... So there's no snow on the road?
No. I mean, well, there's a little bit. I mean, it's like that sort of mucky gray mush from people walking back and forth it all day, but there's a little bit that if you wanted to leave a path with your tail, you could do that.
Yeah, I'm going to let my tail drag on the ground. I'm going to hate it because it's really cold, but I'm going to just let my tail kind of swoop and leave a line in the path that we're going, just in case we're going somewhere sketchier than just the spire.
All right, sounds good. So, other than that, neither one of you were trying to make a break for it or anything like that?
Nah, a little too risky.
Okay, all right.
Even for me.
Alrighty, so the two of you are taken away, headed away. Now, Ashima and Bianca, did the two of you do anything seeing that? You're just barely able to see them encircled and then walked away. They're not taken away in chains, but they are being escorted away.
Do I see Desmond?
You would be able to
do I
see him
see
dragging his tail, yeah.
Okay. I think it's very concerning.
Yeah.
I also think we have our answer now.
Guess we should just follow and try not be noticed.
I believe there's more to Desmond than meets the eye at most times. Look there, he's leaving a path. Let me try that again. Look there, he's leaving a path for us.
Well,
We'll
should we
give them a head start?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
That's
Joe,
not
is
to make it
Keothi
seem-
waiting with us?
Yeah, they would be. So, as that they're sitting there and you both are discussing doing that, Keothi says, if you all are trying to be covert, I hate to admit it, but it might be best that I stay here and wait. I do not want to be the reason you get found.
Furthermore, if we suffer a similar fate, we'll need someone to help us.
I will be prepared to go get Chine and see if maybe the dwarves and the halflings will be willing to help Thunder and Turi, I believe. If worst comes to worse.
That would be more than helpful, thank you.
Of course.
Give us 2 hours.
Safe. 2 hours?
Yes. And we'll come find you.
All right. And if not, I will come looking for you.
Of course.
Be safe, please.
You as
You as
well.
Oh,
Jinx,
okay.
you
so-
owe me a card for Kingdoms and Castles.
That's like more than a soda.
I couldn't think. I guess you owe me a beer. I don't. An ale.
Depends on the card, I guess. You know, it's like an energy card, like in Pokemon.
Yep.
Yeah, just a wheat card or an honor card. Yeah. I'm working on the mechanics for that, by the
One of
way.
those.
Soon we're going to be able to play Kingdoms and Castles. Okay, so
Yeah, man. Make a flash game.
I'm excited.
Ashima and Bianca, I'd like both of you to make stealth checks for me.
Maybe we'll do better than Desmond. Maybe.
Well, better than Desmond is a natural one, so
Here we go.
No, okay. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
You know, if Poe was here, I somehow feel like all of us would have rolled better. I don't know exactly why.
I think it's because
I just
Evan
feel
takes
that in
all
my
the
bones.
bad karma. So,
Poe is a rock.
So let's blame Evan. Is that the plan for this session?
yeah, blame Evan. Okay, so the two of you
Done.
begin to sort of, not crouching, right? You don't want to do anything that'll draw attention, but just trying your best to blend in with crowds. But the issue is, the two of you, Ashima, your exterior clothing, your winter wear looks nothing like any of the other people here. And Bianca, you're a purple tiefling.
Yeah.
So even trying your best to keep your hood up, blend in, eventually you hear a chipper voice. Bianca, Ashima? The right, you were with Master Desmond, right? And you see, like, running up behind you, standing next to a guard, is Tommen. Oh, I was actually looking for you. I don't exactly know what was going on, but I did see Desmond being escorted by the guards, and there's sort of a word going around right now. If we see anybody who's been talking with those people, that we should take them to the spire as well. So, I mean, if you'd like, you know, I don't know exactly what it's about, but are you guys doing anything right now, or I don't? It doesn't seem very pressing. At least it didn't seem to me.
Right. Well, actually, we were just headed to the spire anyway. So you get back to what you were doing, and we're just gonna head straight there.
Is the tail headed towards the spire? If we're still able to track it.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're heading northward towards the spire, but you're not sure if that's the final destination or if that's just the general area they're headed to.
So that's kind of the direction we were already walking in, right? So it doesn't look like we were going like that way when the spire's that way, right?
No, yeah. It looks like you're heading
Okay.
the correct direction, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
But yeah, we're already on our way there.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if it's not too much, I think that, yeah, you know what, it's probably fine. And you can see the guard who's walking with him is just sort of like arms crossed, just looking down at Tommen. I think it would be best if the two of you come with us.
Well,
Well, I guess we're all headed in the same direction anyway.
Very good. And just sort of looks down at Tommen, and Tommen is like, they seem nice. All right. Sorry, he's a little
Bianca's
grumpy.
going to message Ashima because I can use that cantrip. So I'm going to send a message to Ashima saying, "Oh shit, oh god, oh no, do you have a plan? You can respond to this message." Stole that from Critical Role, so go watch Critical Role.
I'll simply look to the guards and look to her and shrug and say, depending on one's view, you are accompanying us. And I'll continue on the way towards the spire.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Sounds good to me. So
Alright.
you continue to head towards the spire. And eventually, walking with these two guards, you do eventually get there and are ushered in. And you can see that inside the spire right now, just right in through the front door, there is about 7 or 8 guards in here, along with the gentleman, older gentleman wearing the very eloquent and well-decorated plate armor, who ushered the 5 of you in to the Old Spire outpost originally. Teal eyes, flowing, white hair and beard, younger facial structure, but almost looks older. And you can see that in here there is Thundu and Turi, along with their 6 children. Chine is also in here as well, just sort of sitting around the table, huddled near the fire. And as the 2 of you are ushered in, the door shuts behind you, and the 2 guards that came with you do not follow you in, but you do not see Cecily and Desmond in here. So as you enter, Captain Resnick just sort of looks down at the both of you, says, please, take a seat anywhere you like. Try to keep it rather warm in here and comfortable. If you're hungry and all peckish, please have some food. Smiles.
Thank you. And Bianca will take a seat.
Okay.
Yep, likewise.
Okay. So you can see Shine and the kids and the parents are definitely looking at you a little concerned.
Ashima will... I assume there's, like, chairs.
Yeah, there is.
Ashima will smile at Resnick and then sit on the floor next to the chair.
Okay. He doesn't seem bothered by it at all. He just kind of looks a little confused and goes back to looking into the fire.
Bianca to Chine will just turn to him and be like, "So you guys were asked to be here too, or were you escorted as well?"
You get a message back saying, we were all asked to come, and we were told we were given the choice, but it seemed to be the illusion of one instead.
And then she'll send a message being like, "And you weren't given any other information at all? Were you here all day, or did this just happen?"
We have been here for 5 or so minutes. They came straight to the camp. And we were given no other information other than Cecily and Desmond were missing. They wanted to try and find them.
And Bianca will just nod at that. Do the kids look scared at all that they're here?
They don't look comfortable, but they also don't look like they're afraid for their lives, you know? They're just kind of confused. And just they keep going over towards mom or dad, just being like, when can we leave? Why are we here? And you see the two of them just trying to quiet them down and tell them not to worry.
Okay. And are there any windows and stuff around us, or is it kind of like just a box with a door?
And, yeah, it's kind of just a box with a door. There's a staircase that goes up in a sort of circular formation. But other than that, there's not really any windows or anything in here.
Okay.
Okay. Alrighty. So as the two of you just settle in and just hope to find something out, we'll go ahead and swap back to Cecily and Desmond. So the 5 guards around you, you anticipate to turn into the old spire, the tower, but you don't. You keep walking past it. Until eventually you get to where those braziers are, illuminating the road, and you walk past those as well. Till eventually you head northeast into the forest. Until eventually you get to a ruin of sort. Not like the ruins that you discovered with Keothi that are of Goliath structure, but instead they look as if they were buildings once built by people native to Bella Clara. And you can see that the snow absolutely litters everything, and there are only a few smoke fires rising from different parts. Shouldn't be there now. So, you can see the ruined buildings in front of you as the 5 guards escort you closer and closer to them. And as they approach, and eventually you move in, you can see that there are 2 chairs in front of a fire, and there's a 3rd chair that currently has a very large man, some type of like monstrous descendancy, whether that be orc or hobgoblin or just a very large goblin, very large individual, and you can see that they have 2 daggers that are currently sitting inside of the fire till they're about white hot. And the large man, he sort of looks over to Cecily and Desmond, and he gestures this very large hand to the 2 chairs, and he says, "Take a seat."
I'm gonna turn back to the guards a little bit and just... So, what the fuck?
They don't say anything. And the large man, he's got like these 2, you can tell, like underbite, like teeth that are jutting out. One broken and cracked, and the other one just a little more sharp and peeking out. He gestures towards the seats again, and he says, "Take a seat."
I'm gonna tug Cecily's sleeve. Sit down. I think it's for your own good.
You're for your own good.
Nice one.
No, just stop. All right, and I'll sit down.
So you take a seat. Both of you do. And he pulls out one of the daggers from the fire. And you can see the other guards. 3 of them leave, but 3 of them stay. The woman with the red hair and 2 others. And they just stand in different areas blocking any of the points of exit. And this man, very large man, taking one of the daggers and just kind of waves it near both of your faces. And he says, "What do the 2 of you know about the brother?"
About the what?
The Brotherhood.
Nothing. Oh my god, there's so much... No, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that. I don't know about the pack thing. I don't know about the scale backs. I don't know what the fuck's going on today, okay? Just
I gotta be honest with you. If you want somebody who knows something, you picked the wrong two people to have sit down with you.
yeah.
Who is the leader of the Brotherhood?
What is the Brotherhood?
Where is the Brotherhood located?
Okay. I think this is like an evaluation. Yeah. Yeah, no, okay. Okay, no, I've got this. Fuck, I don't know. I don't know where the Brotherhood is. What? I don't know.
What is the Brotherhood? Am I the only one who's this far out of the loop right now?
No, I don't know either. Just don't think he's gonna tell us.
I've had a very, very hard day so far, and I would just like to know what's going on.
He's going to take the red hat dagger and press it into your skin slightly so it starts to singe and burn. You take 2 points of fire damage.
Ah.
That's not good.
I was way too cold anyway.
Who is their leader?
If you tell me what the Brotherhood is, I might be able to help you a little bit more. I promise you I don't know what you're talking about.
Make a persuasion check.
Persuasion.
Oh my god.
He sets the dagger back in the fire and pulls out the red hot one and leans it close towards your chest. He says,
Where are they located?
Okay, look.
his eyes shoot over to you.
He actually doesn't know anything, okay? I just want to get that out. He didn't even know what snow was like 2 fucking days ago.
It's true.
He doesn't know anything. I don't know anything. I didn't even know that there was like other cities for a long time. I'm gonna turn back to the guards. Are you sure you know what you're doing?
Points the dagger right towards your throat, Cecily.
Okay.
Who is the leader?
It seems as though, and he kind of pulls the dagger away as you take a moment of hesitation.
It seems as though they will need more encouragement. You two, get the rats in the buckets.
And he sets the dagger back down into the fire. And he sort of cracks his knuckles.
We will get you to talk. We will learn your leader, and we will learn where you are, and then we will smoke you out. And then you will be just as powerless as you were before.
So with that, we're going to cut back to Cecily, or we're going to cut back to Ashima and Bianca. So, come back here. So sitting in there, you've been there for maybe 10, 15 minutes now. Nobody has talked to you at all. Nobody has really said anything up until this point. But at about the 15-minute mark, there is a couple of guards who enter. And Bianca and Ashima, both of you being a little more perceptive and have now been in the business of remembering faces for a little bit, you do recognize them as two of the guards who were escorting Desmond and Cecily. You can see them moving past you up towards Captain Resnick, and they begin to whisper a few words back and forth. I'd like both of you to go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Hey!
Hey,
Hey!
nice. Okay, so both of you are able to hear...
Dirt 20.
Okay. Both of you are able to hear the hushed conversation happening between those two, and you can tell that they're right by the fire. They're trying to use the crackling of the wood logs in an effort to conceal it, but the two of you are very perceptive, and you hear generally what they're saying. So, one of the two leans in and says, "They're acting like they don't know anything, but we are fairly confident we can get them to speak. As I said, they haven't said anything yet, but they will eventually." So he kind of looks back and nods. And Shima, you said you wanted to do something?
Yeah, he'll look over towards them and pipe up, and probably unwise, but he'll say, "If you wish to know information, you could always ask."
Resnick, his eyes snap towards you, and he smiles. He says, "Oh, we must have been speaking a little too loud. I apologize. Well, suppose you're right. We have kept you here a little too long, and well,
More than cooperative, we don't mean to waste your time. If you mean to starve us out for information, there's no need."
no, and that wasn't the intention at all. There's plenty of food and drink here for you, but I understand how this might seem a little coarse and a little over the top. After some other gathering of information, Shine and the family here both are free to go. Seems as though any of the questions we need to ask would be from these two right here. Please, don't stay here any longer unless you'd like to." Kind of smiles, and the family kind of apprehensively stands, and Shine does as well. And they all kind of share a look with the two of you, sort of asking with their eyes what you want them to do.
"We'll be fine. Thank the man for his hospitality. He's been nothing but cordial."
And they all kind of mutter in accordance together, "Thank yous." Thank
And
you
I'll
for
send a
letting us know.
message to Chine saying, "We'll be okay."
Shine nods. "I hope so." And the collection of about 9 of them, between the 8 members of the family, and Shine, they exit, leaving just the 2 of you, Captain Resnick, and about 7 guards. So Resnick takes out a few parchments of like letters, what look to be from ravens of some kind, and unfolds it, reads it, and then crumbles it up and throws it into the fire. And he says, "So how long have you two known?" Well, she told me her name was Ellerin, but then he was able to change her
Cecily?
face. Cecily, yes. And Desmond, is that his name as well?
Yes. Those, I can confirm, are their true names as well as I know them. I hope they didn't give you too much of a start. They're always running around making trouble. I had a feeling this was about them.
Actually, what has me concerned is trouble. You see, Ashima and Bianca, is it alright if I'm on a first-name basis with the both of you?
Doesn't
Please.
bother me.
You see, Ashima, I can tell that you are not a native to Bella Clara. So you might not be accustomed to our ways.
Not many, I'm afraid.
It's alright. No need to fret. Learning is... An ability to learn is one of the most powerful tools we have as people. So I'm willing to let many transgressions slide as long as somebody learned something in the end. Bianca, pretty sure I've heard of your shop in Summer's Rest. So, well, it's a little more... Makes me a little more sad to hear that someone who understands our customs would do something this abhorrent.
I'm sorry. I'm not sure what you mean. If you could help me understand by elaborating.
And Ashima, this is what bothers me the most. Like an animal caught in a trap, still scratching to escape, not willing to consign to their fate. I know that at least Desmond and Cecily, is her name correct? I know that the two of them are working for the Brotherhood. And the four of you arrived in here together along with that large woman, which we still have yet to find. But we know that at least those two, quite possibly you, Bianca, have been working with the Brotherhood. So I'm going to make a very simple offer. Tell us what you know, and we'll let you go free. We'll forgive you for these transgressions if you can help us.
Joe, does Bianca, is the Brotherhood a familiar term at all to her?
Make a history check for me.
Okay. Where is history on here? Okay.
Okay.
18.
So luckily, this past month or so, month and a half, you've been fairly tuned out of any recent events just because your life has sort of been consumed by this whirlwind. But you do remember, right before all of this started, maybe 2 or 3 weeks before Rolius showed up for the first time, there was some mumbles during the summertime of a group that had... The specifics are not there, but they had attacked... It was either a merchant caravan or a group of guards. It was something that was owned and operated by the nation of Bella Clara. And these people, they had robbed them and attacked them and showed the utmost of brutality toward these people. What you read and what you heard from the town criers was absolutely abhorrent. Really the stuff of true sickos. And originally, they were called the Bloody Brotherhood. At least that was the name that any of the bards in town who were singing about them said. But so you think there might be some connection there, but typically the term, by people who are sympathetic, they would call them freedom fighters, but mostly they were just called terrorists by anything that was officially published by the nation of Bella Clara.
Are you talking about, I mean, I only heard them called the Bloody Brotherhood. Are they the same thing? Because I remember hearing nothing super recent. It was recent enough over the summertime. The group that popped up and did terrible things. I really don't know enough about them though. And I'm really sorry if this is frustrating for you. It's equally as confusing to me. I wish I could help you further. This is all I know though.
If we have aided them in any way, I assure you, we only stand to keep the peace and not disrupt it. Perhaps we could walk you through our last week, and that might be of some use to you, providing evidence where we can.
Ashima or Bianca, either one of you can make a persuasion check with advantage, but just one of you, since you guys were kind of going back and forth with each other right there.
I got a +3. What do you have?
0. Go for it.
Okay. Give this a little shot. Oh God! Oh no!
That sounded so painful.
It was painful. It was scary.
He stares at you for a long time. Probably 30, 45 seconds just reading both of you up and down. Sort of looks to the guards. Let them go. And you can see that there is those 2 guards that headed, that were originally talking to him, that headed away and down into what looks like a cellar, coming back up with buckets and a couple of cages of rats. He sees them and says, "Stop. Put those back." I said, "Put those back. Go get the other 2. Then he looks to you, Ashima and Bianca. "If you ever give me a doubt, I will not hesitate to have you drawn and quartered. Not here, not in Giant's Bridge, in Belka, in front of hundreds of thousands of people. Do not give me an opportunity to doubt."
We will not. And if we can be of any further assistance, we will.
You want to know how you can be of further assistance? Stay out of the woods and stay away from any ruins you might find. That's how.
Then we will do thus.
Good. Enjoy the rest of your stay at Old Spire Outpost. But I recommend you leave soon. The door opens behind the 2 of you.
Shima will give a bow and then make his way out.
Bianca will not bow, but she'll follow Ashima out.
Okay. So, with that, we're going to briefly jump back to Cecily and Desmond. So, Cecily, Desmond, the 2 of you still sitting down in this cold, frigid ruin, the large, kind of goblinoid man, just the tusks and the large, powerful frame, just sort of staring you down, twirling one of the red-hot daggers in his hands. 2 of you just sitting. You're not bound in those chairs. There's just one other guard, and Tim, who's just staring you down in this moment. Are the 2 of you going to do anything?
So they're just staring at us, like, very intently.
Yep.
I mean, if I had message, I would use it. Pesky Bianca. But I think I'll just. I don't want to like whisper because I know they can hear me anyway. But I'll lean over to Desmond and kind of just slowly just. Okay, I think we need to get the fuck out of here.
I agree.
I'm going to say for both of you, go ahead and make a stealth check.
Bad.
Where did my character sheet go? Oh no, oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Desmond, don't mess it up. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So you can see that the interrogator, he kind of sees your mouth move, but you pick just the right moment as the wind is blowing near the both of you. Both of you respond. And he says, hey. No talking. Next time I see those lips move, I will cut out your tongue.
What if we were planning on telling you where the Brotherhood is located?
Then I suggest you speak now, before the rats are...
Okay, if I tell you, will you let us go?
That will be up to Captain Rez.
Okay.
But I can tell you,
So,
whatever he will decide will be preferable to having a rat chew through your chest.
I can agree with that. So if it's okay with you, Cecily, I'm going to tell him where the Brotherhood is located.
I think. Okay, Cecily is gonna just give him a slightly bigger nod. Just kind of. Yeah. Sure. I think I'm done.
Okay. I'm going to stand out of my chair. Not quickly or abruptly or to move anything. I'm just standing up.
The guard
I'm
who
gonna
is
look
near
him
the
in the
closest exit will draw her...
I'll put my hands up. Southwest of here, there is a small trail surrounded by trees and brush. It's, a couple 100 yards away. If you take the trail down for a couple of miles, you'll get to a dried up stream. Due south of the stream, you'll find a large cave. In the cave, it's marked with a big stump on the outside of it. Inside of the cave is a fort. There's no one in the fort because it's a cover-up. If you go all the way to the back, the bottom, there is a trapdoor. You open it, you go down, the cave opens up to a larger area. We are too low-ranking to know who the leader actually is. I can tell you he is a human man, but that's all the information that we have. Promise.
Make a deception check.
Oh boy.
Where is my character sheet at? It went away a second. Oh no, here it is.
It was a pretty confident lie, though. Nothing else.
He looks at you. You see the knife lower a little bit, and he sets it back down into the fire, and he says, I'm sorry, I wasn't writing that down. But repeat it. Word for word.
Southwest of here, there's a trail. You take the trail down for a couple of miles, and you'll find a dried up stream. Due south from the stream, for a couple 100 yards or so, you'll find a cave marked with a large stump. Inside the stump, there's a fort. No one in the fort. Go down through the fort. There's an opening, and the cave opens up, and that's where they are. We don't know who the leader is. He's human, though.
Good. Good. When they return, we will send cavalry to see if what you say is true. If scouts report they see,
You will be free to go. You will have your freedom. If they find nothing, we will, well, we will make sure that you understand what it is to be alive and a traitor. He smiles and he sits back down in his chair, twirling one of the daggers, and eventually the two guards come back, empty-handed. He says, "Where are the?" And one of the guards says, "They're free to go. Orders from Resnick. Directly from him." Well, maybe you should tell Resnick that they just informed us of the location of a fort, and they have an idea of who the leader is. Oh.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Mr. Goblin, sir.
I'm sorry, what the fuck did you just call me? And he takes out both the daggers and holds them directly up to your throat. I am not a fucking goblin. Don't you ever fucking call me that again, or I will end you right here, regardless of what information you have. Do you think I give a shit about you, you scaled-back piece of garbage?
If I knew better, I would say that that was kind of offensive, but I'll be honest, I don't know better. I'm just gonna sit down. I'm sorry, Cecily. I really fucked up.
Yeah.
Can we go talk to to Captain Resnick? I think we can clear up a whole lot of stuff if we can just go talk to him right now.
Provided what you told me was true, you will be able to talk to him all night. But for now, you will sit. And we will wait. So, with that, one of the two guards that came back, he goes back to the old spire. Bianca and Ashima, you guys head back to the camp. And you're there for maybe 30 minutes, and there's still nothing. So, Cecily and Desmond are not returned, the two of you. So, Desmond and Cecily will hop back to you in here in a second. But as you return to camp, there is nobody there. Nobody has returned. The halfling and dwarf family, as well as Chine, are here. But other than that, they haven't returned yet.
Coming back,
That's
I'll
not
address
good.
the families. I'm glad to see that you are all unharmed. We'd assumed that Cecily and Desmond would be with you.
No, sorry, they haven't returned yet. Thundi speaks up, or Thundu. So what exactly is happening right now? I was able to calm down the children enough, but are all of you involved in something that we should know about?
No, of course not. There's been some mistake. I think perhaps we were wandering somewhere we shouldn't have been, and they assumed that we are harmful people. But that has all been cleared up now, and hopefully we'll be on our way and out of their way as well. I assure you, nothing to worry about. You are all very safe, I think. If anything, their problem is with us.
Well, if that's the case, then I think it might be best if our conversations are short and to the point from here on.
Of course.
Ashima,
Hmm?
I think we should grab our things and go look for our friends and part.
I think that's wise. again, turning to the rest of the group. Thank you for sharing your hospitality. We wish you safe travels.
And Bianca is just going to quickly and very quietly just start whatever she can grab quickly, start putting in the cart.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. Likewise, I'm gonna help her out. And
Start packing.
waiting to see if they're coming back.
Okay. Packing stuff up, putting it in the cart. In the entire about 45 minutes that it takes you to pack away the cart, nothing. They don't return. So as you guys are doing that, we're going to go ahead and jump back to Cecily and Desmond. So, Cecily, Desmond, 15, 20 minutes pass of silence. And at this point, the interrogator, he does stand, and he looks to the two guards who are there, and he says, I need to take a piss. Make sure they don't go on. And he stands up, and he begins to walk away. And the other two guards, there are about 4 different ways out of this ruin, and they're just trying to stand near 2 of them. So Desmond and Cecily, both very skilled at running away, as your adventure first started with the 2 of you running away from something. You do note a couple of exits, but it's just up to you if you want to take them. So
now might be the time. Okay.
I am going to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. All I was gonna say is I'm gonna give eyes to Desmond. You know, eyes that say, "Should we fucking dash?" That's
I am
all for now.
going to, if I can. Are there any like rocks or sticks or twigs or anything around us?
Oh, yeah, lots. I mean, a lot of the stone and brick and mortar that had sort of crumpled off of these buildings, there's tons of it that is size enough for you to be able to grab and throw if need be.
Okay. I am going to try to, at sleight of tail, around a pile of like rocks or twigs or something and fling them into one of the corridors to try to make a sound. And then if they have any sort of look or movement that way, I'm gonna book it out of the other entrance.
Okay, yeah. Okay, go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
And if anybody was wondering, this is why I was practicing balancing on my tail.
Okay, alrighty. So, Desmond, as you wrap your tail around one of the rocks, you are able to very slowly get it, and you can see the other 2 guards keep looking out into the forest or into the woods, not even paying so much attention to you, thinking that, you're just a small dragonborn and a small defenseless girl. And so they don't even pay much attention to you, more so worried about what may come. Desmond, you tighten up the rock around your tail, and you fling it down a corridor, and it makes... and the echo slowly comes off. The 2 pull their swords out and one looks towards the other and says, "You stay right here. I will go look." And the one with his sword pulled out in the half plate begins to make his way down the corridor, investigating. And you said at that moment, Desmond, you wanted to take off.
Yeah, as soon as they're a little bit down the corridor, I will take off. I will nod to Cecily after I do that, and after they are in the corridor, I will take down the hallway, sprinting as fast as I possibly can.
Okay. Alrighty. So at that point, as the 2 of them are making their... Okay. As the 2 of them are making their way down...
I just want to get that in there.
That's okay. Making their way down that corridor, the one begins to turn around to face you, sees both of you standing up to go and dash. Cecily, you let out that color spray, and that's a DC 15?
Well, it's I don't know why the save is there. It's a hit point spell.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And it's in a 15-foot. And I'm gonna cast it at 2nd level, so I get
Is it 8d10?
8d10. Yeah. So I'm gonna, if I can hit 2 of them in the cone, I will. But well, actually, let me ask first. Are they spread out so much that I can only get 1 at a time?
No, the two are close enough that you could spray it and get both of them. Yeah.
Well, then I'll go ahead and use 3 spell points then and cast it at 2nd level.
Okay, gotcha.
So that will affect 46 hit points worth of guard.
Okay, so the one who is closest to you is dropped, knocked unconscious. The other one, though, is still standing, but it's far enough away that is not able to get any attacks of opportunity on the two of you as you just, boom, take off and dart. Now, the only way out is deeper into the forest eastward. So, that's the same direction you came from the keep, but it's your only way out. As the two of you run out and away, you can see that that large man, the interrogator, is just, like, readjusting his pants, and turns and sees you running. And you see him begin to take off, and as he's running towards the two of you, you can see that he begins to drop in intensity and anger, and just begins to stare down at the ground with this blank, neutral, tranquil face. And as the two of you look deeper into the woods, you can see Keothi, as she used her tranquility ability. So, you can see him just sort of pause and stop, and is just paralyzed there, and she shouts out, "Quickly, run this way!" as the two of you begin to dart off, running towards Keothi, and her voice, especially yelling, is reverberating. You can see about 12 crows just fly away from the tree that they were sitting on, as the two of you run towards her, and you run, regroup with her, and begin to run away into the forest, not exactly knowing your next step. So, as the two of you are heading there, and Bianca and Ashima, you're packing up the carriage, not exactly sure what to do next, we're going to go ahead and take a break right there.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Sorry.
Okie dokie. So, that is...
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, here, could you mute yourself, Cameron? Alrighty, so that...
Alright, Twitch chat, you stay here. I'm gonna go take a piss.
So with that we'll go ahead and call a break right there. We'll take 5-10 minutes and we'll be back. Thank you, by the way, Lisa, for the resub. You're the best. Hopefully you're able to hang in there for this part. So if you liked it, please leave a follow. We'd love to have more people added to the community. Don't forget that you can join the Discord. I'm going to go ahead and drop that in there. Discord. Where constantly we have people asking questions to the players about the sessions. So if you want to talk to players about the decisions they made, like how I applaud Cameron for not metagaming all in that moment, for doing what Desmond would do, that was great. Even though you really kind of fucked yourself over, I thought that was a real respectful move there. So good on you, Cameron. But yeah, so we're gonna take a break, and we'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes. All right. See you then.
Bye.
Bye. And we are back in action. Howdy, everybody. Sorry for taking a little bit longer. I was talking to them about maybe a possible change in the future with the way that the campaigns are done. But that is something... We're going to LARP it. I joke about it off camera all the time, but I'm going to buy a castle for everybody. And it's going to be like one of those Instagram influencer houses where all of us live together. And we just play D&D, and it's great.
Nice. We can have a Totino's Fortnite training room.
Yeah. We can be called Team 20.
To be fair,
Oh,
we used to have that, but it was more of a shack.
Yeah, we did. But we're back now. So, once again, I would like to give a shout out to our artist, but there's one artist in particular, if she's still listening, she needs to go to sleep. So, Lisa, just from your last message, I miss him also keeping around Christ's... please go to bed if you're still awake. It's for your own health.
You can just watch it later. They're all posted.
Yeah, it'll literally be on YouTube tomorrow. Okay.
Take care of yourself.
Yes, mental health and physical health are both very important. So, I think that we should go ahead and roll the intro and then jump back into the intensity that is this session. So, there's legit castles for sale often in the US, like not even a meme. I know, which is why we'd all have to move to the UK, and I don't think any of us would be upset about that, necessarily.
Not really.
I got so many health issues, and I'd like to not pay for insurance.
Yeah. I understand that Boris Johnson's not the best guy, but, can't be... Well, I mean... Okay, well, let's not get me or Jamie talking about politics, because that's a dangerous twister to go down. So let's go ahead and roll that intro and then get started. Alrighty, and unmuted and to the game. Here we are, ladies and gents. No, I'm not gonna get you started, Jamie. So here we go, diving right back into where we left off. So let's not forget that we need this shit right here. Yeah, there we go. So last we had left off, the party had finally made their way into Old Spire Outpost to investigate, to see what's the deal with these bandits. Why are they there? Are they just squatting? Are they actually a threat? Do they need to be taken care of? Maybe the party wanted to find an answer to these questions that they had about these bandits. Well, it seems as though asking questions just opened up a can of worms that they weren't expecting in the slightest. So the party decided to ask these questions. Cecily decided to go to the captain of the Old Spire Outpost, Captain Resnick, asking him disguised what exactly was going on, and then just saying, I found these people, what's going on? He was very blunt, and he told her that she shouldn't worry about it. As long as they don't bother you, they won't bother us. We have deals, a deal made, a deal promised is a deal kept. Said that a few times. So Cecily, deciding not to push it any further, she decided to leave, go and regroup with Desmond. However, the one thing that the two of them weren't able to notice is that they were being followed by guards. The guards saw them regroup, saw Cecily drop out of her form, and went to go get them and take them back to the Old Spire Outpost. Now, or to the tower at the Old Spire Outpost. Now, Bianca and Ashima were able to see this happen and tried to follow them, but then ended up getting stopped by Tommen and another guard. And there was a bit of back and forth between them until eventually they decided to go. Following in, getting into the tower, there was not just Bianca and Ashima, but also Chine and the dwarf and halfling family. That was also odd, that they were also in there. But the thing that was most concerning was that there was no sight of Bianca and Desmond. Cecily and Desmond. So, Bianca and Ashima, you stay in there for a while. Eventually, Chine and the family are released. And the two of you ask some questions. There is this very aggressive behavior from Captain Resnick towards Bianca specifically, a known native, to Bella Clara, claiming that she was almost like an animal trapped in a cage trying to get out, knowing the truth but refusing to say it, afraid of what may come. Bianca, in all honesty, not knowing what the fuck is happening, as confused as anyone else would be in the situation. So eventually the two of you do some talking using some very, very careful words. You're able to persuade Captain Resnick to let you go, to let Desmond and Cecily go, and allow you to be on your way away from the Old Spire outpost. However, having no communication available between you two and Desmond and Cecily, well, something different happens. Jumping to Cecily and Desmond, the two of you being interrogated by this large, monstrous, orcish, hobgoblin, goblinoid man, and eventually telling him that you are a part of this brotherhood, and you're new members, very low ranking, but you do know where they are. Desmond giving very, very direct instructions on where their camp is. The interrogator seemed rather happy about this, was willing to not bring in the rats and cages, provided that the area was real. Whatever Desmond was describing was real. So, the two of you then proceed, after giving that information, some of the guards leaving, the interrogator going to go relieve himself. You decide to make a break for it, both of you knowing that you're lying. You have no idea who this brotherhood is, or what their purpose is. So, the two of you make a break for it. Cecily shooting off a spray of colors, blinding one of the guards, the other one too far away to do anything. Then, as you're making your way out, you can see the interrogator making his way towards you, trying to grab you, but before he can, he is almost tranquilized, where he just drops and is in a completely neutral state. And as you look, you follow the sound of a very familiar voice of Keothi as she's shouting at you to follow her, to run. You do, running with her into the forest. That is where we are picking up. So, the two of you following Keothi, you can see that she is not dexterous at all, but she could be a marathon sprinter with her powerful build, as she is just every once in a while having to slow down so the two of you with your smaller legs can stay caught up. So, as the two of you, or three of you together, are beginning to run away, Cecily, Desmond, where are the two of you trying to go?
I would like to...
Southwest.
Gotcha.
Yes. Definitely not there, but I would like to intercept with where we last left Bianca and Desmond, or Bianca and Ashima, I mean.
So right at the outskirts of the Old Spire?
Yeah. Tell you what, actually what I'll do, as we're jogging, I'll be like, Keothi, have you seen the other two?
As far as I knew, they went in to go and find you. I saw them being escorted away towards the spire. I did not see them leave, though. I figured it was best to come and find the two of you.
Fucking fuck. Okay, fine. All right, let's just go back to the place where we said that we would go. Maybe they're there.
Okay.
And so you three begin to pick up. I'd like all three of you to make athletics checks, just as you're trying to traverse the thick snow, the clustered together trees. Ooh, okay.
Oh, well,
and then
not as much as Desmond.
Keothi will make hers with advantage.
Man.
Desmond's muscles are still pretty tight from being really cold.
Yeah. So Keothi, that is a 23 for her. So she sees you starting to lag behind, shivering together, and she says, No, there is no time for this. She just scoops you up, just like fireman carries you, like it's nothing to her. Just picking you up, carrying you. But Cecily, you're getting into a rhythm. I mean, you've run away from a lot of people, so you get that breathing pattern. You focus on survival, not what's behind you, not what's ahead, just making it out. So, with Keothi's high roll being able to scoop you off your feet, Desmond, and Cecily being able to pick up the pace and at least keep up, sort of, eventually you're able to make your way around, and you get back to the point. However, you can hear there was shouting back from where you came from. Eventually, you could hear that man's voice return, the interrogators, yelling out, shouting, commanding to get guards, alert the guards, tell the captain, shouting out all of those things. But eventually the voice fades away as you get to the spot where you 5 had originally separated to begin with. So, from this point, I would probably say that you were close enough to your campsite to see that Bianca and Ashima are almost all of the way done packing up everything. So you can see them just barely. I mean, the only reason you can really see Bianca is because she's purple and everything else is covered in snow, so she sticks out quite a bit. So as you get back to your rendezvous point, you can see her.
Okay, thank fuck. Cecily will just sprint straight to her.
Okay, so Keothi following behind. Eventually she sets you back down, Desmond, and you're able to pick up the speed and keep up pace. After you're able to catch your breath and loosen up a little bit. So the 3 of you make your way back to Ashima and Bianca. So Ashima, Bianca, you see emerging from the trees and emerging from the snow-capped evergreens, you can see Desmond, Cecily, and Keo as they begin to slowly, well, rather quickly approach the 2 of you packing up the cart.
So, how was your day? What happened?
We were just questioned about stuff that apparently you guys were questioned about too.
Can we talk on the cart? Can we keep going? I'm sorry,
Yeah,
but
we
we're
might
just...
need to
Are
fuck
we-
off.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk on the road.
There was a man shouting about finding guards to get all of us, so I think it might be best if... And Keothi starts, like, picking up the cart and, like, attaching it to the horses and, like, moving the cart. And she's just pushing the entire thing. I think it would be best if we leave immediately. I do not like having this much attention.
All right. And then Bianca will hop on. I don't know if Ashima wants to do the horse or not again, but...
Yeah, if you're going for the reins, you can take him.
Sure. All right, let's go. If everyone's on the cart, I'm not going to leave people. Get on the cart.
I'm diving in.
Okay, so everybody's on the cart. The 5 of you begin to roll around the side of the road and begin to take off. Eventually, you get to the southern tower, which you can see the southern tower is constructed in Belclarian nature. The 4 braziers are in the middle of the road, and there's a... you can see Tommen, who says, Oh, are all of you leaving so soon?
Tommen.
If that's the case, you'll need to pay the toll if you're getting ready to head out. It's just 5 gold for the cart.
Boom. Tosses her 5 gold from her pocket.
Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alrighty. Move
great.
the braziers.
And then we're gone.
So as soon as the braziers
Tommen.
move up, and you can see that there is maybe 4 or 5 guards that are beginning to run down the street towards the cart. And all of you are already past the braziers. You can hear them shouting, "Let them pass!" But at that point, you're already moving past the guards, and you can see that the braziers are beginning to open again. People are starting to, about 4 or 5 guards are beginning to chase after you, and you can hear them shouting, "Get the horses! Pursue them!" And you could see more people running towards the Spire outpost, headed to probably some sort of stable to grab horses. What are all of you doing in the meantime? Many of you would know that with a cart carrying the weight that it is, you will not be able to outrun just standard cavalry. So what are you doing?
All right, we either need to shoot at them or toss things out of the cart. One of the 2.
Toss things. She can start rolling one of the tents out.
Do we have enough things to lose enough weight to... I mean, these are like cavalry horses, so like...
Yeah, and it's the cart. I mean, that's the real issue, is it's a heavy-duty cart.
We can aim for their horses, not them. if we get their horses like down, then they can't catch us.
Okay, I mean, if that's what we want to do, then I'll do it. But
I just don't know what
against
to
shooting
do.
the horses.
this is kind of just a big fucking mess. What did you guys hear? I think we have like 10 seconds right now. Let's sort it out. What the fuck did you guys hear? Anything about a brotherhood?
Yeah, the question is about the brother. I think we should just, and Bianca's just going to pull out her gun, and the first horse she sees, she's going to shoot.
Yeah, Ashima's still throwing like all of our supplies out of the tent.
Which is, she's going to be like driving and shooting at the same time. This is very Wild West.
I'm gonna take out a flash bomb and try to aim it in front of all of the horses behind us so that by the time it explodes, it gets all the horses and the riders can't see. Also.
Okay.
That's a much better idea.
Okay, alrighty. So, Bianca, you do see that there are about 5 horses, 5 cavalry-mounted, or mounted horses, who are beginning to, like, absolutely take off and gallop towards you. And they are gaining a lot of speed. Desmond, you pull out the flash bomb, you roll it off. I'd like you to make an intelligence check for me, just to see if you can time it right. Because there's a lot of, it's like, if there's a train headed east towards Los Angeles, and there's a train headed south towards, when will they pass each other? It's like one of those, okay. So you time it best you can, you throw it down, and as you do, there is only one raider that it ends up hitting. So what's the DC on those?
Let me look at them again. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Each flash bomb has a 40-foot throwing distance. Every creature within 10 feet point of the detonation must make a con save or be blinded for a number of turns equal to my proficiency bonus.
There's 2, one for the rider and one for the horse. The horse definitely fails. I doubt your DC is 7.
It is 8 plus 2 plus 2, so 12.
12. Okay, so the horse fails, the rider succeeds, so the horse just and just wins and rears up, and the rider is unable to stay on, collapses onto the ground. You can hear the crunching of mail that as they just sort of as something happened to that rider. So the rider falls off, the horse blinded, scutters off into the forest. However, there are still 4 more riders. Bianca, you pull out your revolver, you shoot.
Well, okay, I do have a question.
Okay.
Are any within 30 feet, any of the horses?
Oh, they will be short. They are catching up really, really fast. Where there's about 2 that are within 30 feet, and the other 2 are within about 4.
Okay, well, the one of them that's within 30 feet, I'm just going to do my blood curse of binding on it and freeze the horse, and it will stop. and then one of the farther away ones, I'm going to aim for probably like its front, like leg, chest area.
Blood curse of binding for 1. What's the DC on that for the horse?
I couldn't hear you, Joe. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. What's the DC on that for the horse?
For the blood curse of binding?
Yeah, for the... Yeah.
14. Hold on. Yeah, 14, and I think it's a strength saving throw. And
Strength saving throw?
DC is 14.
Okay. Gotcha. Alrighty.
Yeah, 14.
Okay. So, let's see. Okay, that is a... Oh, God. It's strength saving throw?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's only a 13. That was an 11 plus 2. So the horse just stops, and you can see the rider flung off, landing on their head. There's like a pinch of steel again, and they just make no noise. As they just sort of land on their head and then just flop onto the ground. And then another horse you take a shot at, go ahead and roll an attack with the revolver, which is a +1 revolver, so I'm sure this isn't going to hit the horse. Because you stole it.
Okay, where did it go?
Man, without Poe, you
I
just...
was looking for a revolver.
Okay, Deadeye. Alrighty, so that's a 17. That hits the horse. Go ahead and roll damage. Oh, fucking shit, man. So, the revolver fires up. Jesus Christ. And the horse, you just aim for the leg, and you just fire, and the leg is severed, like deep joint. Like, snaps. And there's just this trail of blood on the white snow as the horse just, like, whinnies, like shouts out in pain as it slides onto the ground, out, kicking as the rider's leg is probably broken underneath the weight of the horse and plate mail, and it's unable to move the horse and get out. And now there's only one rider left who's like seeing the carnage behind him and goes to pull out his sword and is eventually now up to the cart. Let's see, who would be in the back of the cart?
I can be in the back.
I was
because-
chucking things out to make us faster. or
Okay.
trying to.
So, we'll do on a, I'm gonna, here, let's have Ashima roll a d4. On a 1, it'll hit you. On a 2, it'll hit Desmond. On a 3, it'll hit Cecily. And on a 4, it'll hit the cart. Okay, so Ashima, he's just gonna raise up his longsword and slash down at you.
Okay.
That is a 17 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. That is 12 points of slashing damage. As he slashes into you as you are cutting, as you're trying to chuck things in the cart, but he slashes into you. So, you three now have a moment to react. What are you doing?
Color spray.
Color spray? Okay, another color spray.
And it'll affect the lower hit point creature first. So
The
I
horse.
believe the horse will go blind before him.
That is enough. Yeah, 10 hit points is all you needed for the horse. So,
Considering blinders, it probably won't be too useful.
okay, so the horse goes blind and just begins to scatter and buck until eventually it just falls over onto his side. And he's unable to make another slash at the group of you. Ashima, however, you are like bleeding out of your part of your chest and part of your arm. None of the guards are pursuing you anymore. But all of you are pretty confident the road might not be a good place to be, especially because they are so well patrolled. So you are riding down. It doesn't seem like any of the guards, they fade in the distance. Some of the shrieks and pains of horses and riders is still echoing from behind you. But in this moment, the 5 of you are fairly confident that you at least have at least 10, 15 minutes to determine what you want to do next.
Should we just... so Bianca will slow down, knowing that from either end could be danger. Not aggressively, but like enough where we're not going quite as fast. Just diverge
Into the
off the
woods.
path slightly
Yeah.
into the woods. Okay, I don't know if we can
At
take...
this point, just hide, I guess.
Okay, I don't know if the cart will make it that far, but she'll try to like lead the cart through into the woods and just... Well, we have a trail of snow behind us, so they'll see us. So we're gonna have to cover our tracks anyway. We might just have to leave the cart.
Is it snowing right now?
Yeah, it is snowing very lightly. Also, don't forget that you guys have that dust of disappearance.
Ooh. This might be the time to use it.
Which, the dust of disappearance... Yeah. This can also work for tracks, too.
Yeah, let's go ahead and use that now. I'm reading the...
Are
I'm reading
Okay. Are we wanting to take the cart and horse? I mean, it will help. It'll carry all of our stuff, but it's also going to slow us down trying to go through all the forest with a cart.
This will buy us some time.
Okay,
And we can always abandon it later.
that's true. Alrighty, sounds... I'm fine with that.
You know, I think we would have been technically in the clear of the law up until we shot the horses.
Well,
Hindsight is 2020, if that's a saying in Salamander Coast.
For those of you watching this on YouTube, you can rewind. I said I'm against shooting the horses.
all right.
No, it's...
Hey,
Bianca's
I
just
took
bad
action,
after the day.
okay?
She did. Bianca took action. Everybody else was fiddling with their draw straps there.
If everyone
I
else
was-
wants to...
Flash bomb, I just suck.
I don't know
trying to
why
make
we
us
were in
way
trouble
less.
either, because
But-
as far as I'd done up until that point, we were fine.
Okay, alrighty. We
Just
can't
saying.
we can't dwindle on the past
Alright,
anymore.
we
We
should
gotta
back
we
to
gotta
it.
look forward to the future.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, as long as we're here now, might as well fucking hide.
Okay, so is that what you guys are
Just to let
doing?
all of you know, we should not go in the direction of southwest where Old Spire is, because they might go look there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we're already heading south though, so let's lean southeast a little bit first.
Okay. Alrighty, so you want to head southeast of Old Spire, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. Sounds good to me. So you pull off east on the east side of the road as opposed to on the west. And then what are you guys doing to hide? Right? That's what your next idea was?
Yeah, first I think we should use this this dust of disappearance.
Yeah. So then
Okay.
And that'll basically just cover our tracks for a bit.
yeah, for a few minutes at least.
Yeah. It'll pretty much just any tracks that you make in like a 20-foot area, it'll just make them disappear.
Okay.
I think what would be most important is, like, we should use the dust right when we get off the trail and start heading into the woods, because that would be the easiest place to track us. Is when the wheels go from the road to the wood.
That's good thinking.
But once we're in the woods, I mean, we might be okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
And if we can buy enough time, the snow will cover our tracks anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Just need more time for that.
Okay. Alrighty. So the 5 of you make your way into the wood using the dust of disappearance right as you're crossing. So it looks like you continue to go straight if I'm understanding it correctly.
Yes.
Alrighty. So with the tracks that are in the snow already, it does look like there could have been a moment where the tracks just kind of stopped but then continued forward as you use the dust of disappearance covering up your tracks leading into the forest. Now, the thing is, Bianca, you're steering the cart?
Yeah.
Okay. This is difficult terrain for a cart, so I'd like you to make an animal handling check as you're trying your best to, for one, calm down the horses after everything that happened, and then also
All right.
get them through this area.
Okay. It could be bad. It could be all right.
So, as you are making your way through, you do have a hard time getting them to go because there is just thicket and branches that you can't see because it's covered in snow, but every once in a while the horse kind of knocks into it and then they step a little bit, but because the cart's there, they start to get a little more anxious, and it is just a slog getting them through here. I mean, you're maybe making a tenth of the distance you normally would on the road right now.
Mm-hmm. Guys, I don't know if this is really gonna long-term work with the cart and the horses. It's just not going
So
well.
we should grab what we can and move quickly.
Okay.
Already losing the fucking cart.
I mean, that's gonna slow us down. I mean, I know
This is slowing us down more.
I know, but we're not gonna be traveling through the woods our entire fucking lives. So I mean, like,
Well, we gotta stay off the road up until we get somewhere else, or come up with new identities, or I don't know.
I can
Let's
carry
move
most
before-
of it. I can carry quite a bit. Just tell me what you want me to carry and I will do it.
Timothy, I'm sorry you got wrapped up in this.
No, it will make a good story one day at least. But for right now, it is a little terrifying.
I really don't know what happened.
We fucked up.
I kind of am. I think I know, but we can talk about it later.
Yes, there will be a time.
Okay.
All right. So what's in our cart inventory that's absolutely necessary?
You have the who has the inventory?
Yeah, it's here on our. We
Is it
have
on
it.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys can all edit it, yeah.
Well,
So
Gildy
we can
should
hunt.
absolutely carry the rations.
Yeah, I updated.
Yeah, okay.
Updated that last session. Let's see.
Should she? Because we could hunt. We don't really need ration.
I guess. I mean, none of us are like a class that is inherently good at that, so there might be days where we fail.
Hunter, blood hunter.
All right.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
but
not
that means you hunt
fantastic
for
at hunting,
blood.
but
I don't want to eat blood, Bianca.
okay.
Gross.
Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I don't
blood
gather.
sausage, blood pudding.
Yeah. Also, I mean, can
Gross.
we really gather in the winter? I think the
No.
Yeah,
rations
but
are-
it's not.
Well, there's
easy.
I think
winter
the rations
berries.
are-
There is winter berries, yeah.
I think the
Yeah,
rations
okay,
are
so let's
important.
take some rations.
I think we also need the tents, or else we're going to be dealing with hypothermia.
Yeah.
A cold over keep.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything else I think can go.
Torches.
Maybe the axe.
I
Maybe
can-
the axe.
I can
I'll
carry
bring the axe.
torches. At least 5 torches, and then someone else can carry 5.
I think I have rope in my personal inventory, and like what I have 25 feet of hemp rope, so we don't need to take the extra rope.
Yeah, and the tinderbox, and then that's not too bad. So I'll take.
Alright.
Who wants the other 5 torches, and then I'll take 5 in the tinderbox.
I'll take them.
Then that should be fine.
Yeah.
And we're leaving the cart, taking the horses.
I was gonna leave the horses.
Because the horses will just die if we leave them.
We can
One.
put them loose.
2,
We can
I
make
still
them dinner.
think-
I know Shima's against that, but we can.
I'm not eating the friends we bought yesterday. That is so fucking quick, Bianca. Jeez.
They're animals, guys. They're animals. It's life.
You're an animal, Bianca, with that mindset.
Oh my gosh. Y'all need
Says
to chill
the
out.
lizard man.
Okay, alright, look. I
Because when it comes, you guys, when we're starving in the middle of nowhere, don't come crying to me.
Okay, look. Rations, axe, tent, torches. Are we done?
We're done.
We're done.
Okay.
Maybe we should
Now.
put the cart and the horses back on the road and smack their butts and let them run off and lead them in the wrong direction.
Sounds good to me.
Sure.
Okay. Alrighty. So you bring the cart back around to the road, set them off. It doesn't seem like anybody has pursued you yet, at least as far as you can tell. You head the cart off south, and you watch it. The horses run away, and you at least have somewhat of a plan. So, with that, the 5 of you, 40 party members and Keothi, all of the things you can carry, you make your way into the Winterwood. No horse, no parts.
We just spent all that money.
And now, at least as far as you can guess, you're outlaws. So, with that, let's go ahead and have a little bit of a mood change here. So,
Maybe
you
we
all
should go back to Summer's Rest.
No.
I mean, we do have allies there.
If anybody can clear our names, it's Rose.
I guess we
Hey,
could send
look,
her a
Yeah,
letter.
Alibis.
You know, don't call us the fuck.
Joe, are we?
Run away.
Are we?
So we're running. We're doing what we do.
Are we? Joe, are we in a secluded spot?
Yeah, we'll say that you could have walked for maybe 15, 20 minutes into the woods to where there's a little bit of a stone overhang, a little bit more of like a cave inlet. Or not a cave, but just like a little overhang that you can get a little bit of cover from to have a smaller, secluded place to talk. Like, so,
Well. Okay. So, you two first.
What?
What happened?
We saw you guys get escorted away by the guards when you were coming back to see us. Then we tried to follow Desmond's trail. Then we were escorted to the spire where Chine and the family were. They ended up not getting questioned, just us. They were eventually allowed to leave. And then they questioned us like we were for sure a part of this brotherhood and wouldn't take, I don't know, for an answer. And then eventually, I guess he just believed and understood that we genuinely didn't know what we were talking about or they were talking about. And
We agreed to leave as soon as possible, and
yeah,
that's that.
we then went
Well,
to
sounds like
find you guys and pack up.
whoever was talking to you was a lot more understanding than who was talking to us.
Yeah.
It was Resnick. Did you guys talk to Resnick at all?
Yeah, I did.
No.
I mean, he was fine. Pretty
He was
straightforward.
fine. Yeah, not great though.
Uh, I mean, I've only met one
Perhaps
nice
rough.
guard, so.
Perhaps rough around the edges, but I think in the end he saw that we were of no threat, and thus
If
not
you ask
worthy of any
me-
scorn.
I think they were looking for somebody to pin something on, because they would just not take. I have no idea what you're talking about, and why on earth would I know these things? And literally, we are children for answers. So I gave the goblin dude who we were talking to an answer in hopes that maybe he would let us go. And he didn't, so we took a run for it.
Yep. We lied so we wouldn't get tortured. That's basically the story.
He stuck a hot knife into my chest, so
Mm-hmm.
he was gonna dunk us in pools of rats or something like that.
Based on what I saw them bringing out of the cellar, it was much worse. I wrongly assumed that you may have done something to anger them, but
No, not really.
torture is far more foul than any other crime you could commit. You did nothing wrong.
And I've seen my fair share of mobs and guards and people chasing after me. So I guess it seemed like the better alternative to being tortured for something that I had nothing to do with.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. If they had like I don't know, a cane, or a swatter, or a stick or something, I would have just taken it. I mean, I'm used to that, but
You two were scared. It's all right. You were rightfully scared.
You should have seen that big fucker.
yeah, he wasn't great.
Don't. You have far more to criticize the man's character on than his appearance.
Oh, I was just saying that he was scary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I was perhaps a little concerned about being outlaws, but any law that prohibits the torturing of children is not one that I want to associate with.
I think
I think just based off the loose dots we can connect, the fact that we found the outpost in the ruin area and the other thieves, and the fact that we actually went back to talk to the guard about it is what made them think that we were the Brotherhood. Because they're known for being freedom fighters, so they're known for defying Belaclara's government and anyone who associates and works with them. So we kind of maybe got them to think that we were trying to find their secrets. and that may be, and the fact that Cecily went in disguise, the fact that they kept an eye on us for even like looking that way. I think it is a misunderstanding, but I don't really care that we're not on their side, because the government is just, as we know, just working with Brennan. I don't really want to associate and like get into that web anyway. But I mean, I'm sure there's more information, but just off the little bit that we know, I think that's where the misunderstanding came from.
So, anyone who doesn't walk on the roads might see shit they don't want us to see. And then we just assume they're evil.
You saw how hard it was to get the town to even believe us about Selrid, and how brainwashed the undercity of Summer's Rest is.
Yeah.
I've been living here my whole life, my parents, and just working within the system. And when you step out of the system, you're a target.
Yep, that sounds familiar.
You know, I never thought I would say this, but I think we should go to Giant's Bridge and talk to Giant's Palm. I think they might have some ways to help us.
Who is this Giant's Palm?
It's the guild. It's where it's the guild of thieves.
The
Can't
guild,
really,
of course.
Can't really call them a guild per se, but they're in Giant's Bridge. And I'm not particularly loved there. Anybody. But I mean, I don't think we can have partners with the government right now, and they sure as hell aren't partners with the government.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's no honor amongst thieves.
Yeah, but you know what you're getting at least. It's no bullshit.
Correct.
Thieves are my kind of people.
Precisely.
Well,
If we can find some kind of protection somewhere, at least it's a start.
And I can't guarantee that they will do much for us, but I would rather deal with them than having, I don't know,
I understand.
if we can get to the Giant's Palm without spending much time parading my scaly self through the city, we'll be okay, I think.
Well, I'll take the blunt cutthroatness of thieves over the sophistry of the guards.
yeah, me too. Fuck these people.
To be
Well,
fair, I definitely didn't go on an adventure with the intention of working within the government. So this was bound to happen at some point.
It may be wise to set forth a long-term, perhaps short-term goal of leaving Elaclara altogether.
I think you could be right.
yeah.
I think there's too many people who want one or more of us in any given place.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, there's people that want me too just for shit I did years ago, so... what
All right, then perhaps...
What about the weird shit in the woods, though? I mean... I kind of feel like we should at least know what that is. Kyo, do you know anything about the pack or the scalebacks? Those are the two names I got, and now I don't know if any of it's real.
No, I
do not know much about current trends in history in Bella Clara. Most of the books we had in the Hearthstone were 50 to 60 years old, uh, dating histories further back than that. So anything within the past 40 or 50 years, I do not know. I will say, rather recently, however, I do not think there is any connection. Maybe some 30, 40 years ago, in the nation of Tarkir, there was some talk of crystal monsters during a very dark time of that nation. So there could possibly be a connection between these crystal companions and them, but that is a minute possibility. Tarkir is rather far away from Bella Clara.
I wasn't sure if Crystal Companions meant the guard now. Like that was code or something. But that also would make sense if it's just something otherworldly, potentially.
Well, sadly, I do not know. And it seems as though no matter how much reading and studying and memorizing I did at home, it has not prepared me very well for what I have found out here.
I would hate to move on and just say this is bigger than us because we've done that twice now.
Well, the thing is, there are not very many things that are bigger than all of you now, because now you all have me. So in fact, most things are smaller than us now.
What would we do without you, Keo?
Probably not be stared at as much.
Nah,
I don't
we
think
still
that's
work.
true, actually.
No, you know what? Now that I say that, I realize how wrong I was.
Yeah. Well, Bianca's right, though. I mean, we just left those people in the weird fucking mine place, even though wanted to do something about it.
And we walked away from a cult. Not really, we couldn't do much about that, but it just feels like we keep running into things.
Yeah.
If you wish to solve every problem in the world, then root yourself on the beach and stop the tide, for it is the largest problem.
Huh?
You can't solve everything.
I think we should sit down and make a list of all the people who hate us. Get everything out in the open. If anybody's hiding anything, put it all down.
Whoa, Desmond. Whoa, Desmond. No, we're still hiding things. We're still hiding things from each other. We're not there yet.
I mean, can we at least talk about what organizations and people are chasing who? I mean, I think we deserve to know what we might all be getting ourselves into.
Yeah, I would like to know that. I didn't know anyone else was being chased.
Oh, I'm not being
Likewise.
chased. I mean, maybe they're bad at chasing. Maybe I am. I don't know.
Well, if that is the case, I can set up these tents and start brewing some tea, if we wish to stay here for a moment.
Do we think we're safe here?
I don't think we're safe anywhere anymore. We're just gonna
Okay.
have to have someone always on watch.
Besides,
To be honest, I think any group of guards that comes after us, so long as it's not like a whole patrol or a whole army, I think we can handle ourselves for the most part. Especially out in the woods, you know.
Yeah.
besides,
Well,
moving around further would only attract more attention to us.
I also, please do not be angry at me, but I, well, my hands were full on the way inward to the forest, so I was not able to write down where we were.
Why would
So,
we be angry with you?
Kyo,
well,
the fact that you even thought about doing that is sweet. We were just funning.
You're the best among us.
well, hopefully you will still feel the same when you, and as you look around, you recognize that there is an uncanny nature to the similarity of the north, west, east, and south of you, as the snow, the small trickle of snow, has covered up any footprints that you had left behind. And it's really disorienting, as unless any of you have the background feature or the feat that allows you to know which direction is northwest, east, and south. Um,
And we
you,
can't see the sun probably because of the snow, right?
at least in this current moment, especially with the canopy, all of the very similar to the image here, how close the trees are all canopied together. At least right now, you don't really have a good idea of what's what.
What time is it, would you say? Ish.
After all of that, probably 3, 4 p.m.
When does the sun set?
Around 5 or 6.
I think we should set up camp, get a good night's sleep, pray for some sunny weather, and run it back tomorrow.
I agree.
Yeah. That's probably good.
I've
Not
had
a
a
horrid
really,
plan.
really fucking bad day.
Okay. Well, I got that corner. The one with the triangle shape over there.
Cecily, let me set up your tent, please. If you sleep outside, you will freeze to death. And I simply could not bear that.
Yeah, cool, okay.
Cecily, Keothi begins to set up each one of the tents, and you can tell that she's good. She sets all of them up within about 20 minutes. And she even slowly begins to put together small rocks and tries her best to create a fire. Before I light this, does anyone have any objections to it?
To fire right now? I think the weather's thick enough that it doesn't really matter.
Well,
How about we just stomp it out when the sun goes down?
she strikes it, and flame catches. So, with that, all of you sit down around the campfire. Some of you climbing into your tent already. And are there any late afternoon conversations? Or are you guys just trying to sleep and hopefully wake up back at camp and like none of this ever happened?
More the latter.
Well, Bianca, going off of what Desmond said of the who is chasing you thing, will, for whoever's around the fire, assuming she's not the only one sitting around.
Desmond's definitely sitting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hang out around the fire for a little bit before Cecily lays face down somewhere.
Well, I don't have any. It's nothing that I did that are causing people to chase me. And they don't even chase me really anymore. But some people who are trying to discover more about demons will like to collect rarer tiefling either samples or themselves completely. And I used to be chased when I was younger, in a way. I mean, I never left Belka, but my parents were horrified of me being kidnapped because it happened. There were 3 different attempts. And now people will just approach me asking to buy me or buy things like samples of like my horn or pieces of my horn or whatever. Um, so it's not really like a chasing anymore, at least as far as I know. But that's my thing. So if that ever happens, you'll all know. I think it's kind of low risk, but it's also something I've dealt with my whole life, so it's not really, I'm kind of numb to it, I guess.
What the fuck?
That's pretty messed up.
Yeah.
Disturbing.
I mean, I guess similarly enough to that, we all know that I have apparently a cult is around that wants to kill Dragonborns. And I don't really know much about it. Never heard of it until it happened. I don't know what my standing is like with the Giant's Palm, but it's probably not great because of how they threw me under the cart.
Under the cart?
People of and the people of Dragon's Bridge really, really don't like me. Or Giant's Bridge, I mean. Also, in Water's Wake, I don't know how much of an issue this is, but I was asked by one of the investors, his name is Loskov, to throw one of my matches when I was fighting down there for some money and a tip. And I chose not to do it, and then he was very, very upset, and the guards were after me. And that's actually when I bumped into Cecily and Poe. But that's all I got.
Worst day of my life.
Well, my parents are going to be at Giant's Bridge probably the time that we're at Giant's Bridge. So we have allies there. I mean, they won't be happy with me, and I was thinking about not finding them, but if we need a place to hide, they'll hide us. Really
That's a sweet deal.
don't know. Yeah. You guys don't have to deal with telling your parents that you're an outlaw and all the other shit you did and a cult, and they're already stressed because of all the shit that I dealt with as a kid. And
Yep, you're right. I don't have to deal with parents.
Well, I can tell you the reverse situation is not much better, but I think we can take allies wherever we can get them.
yeah.
In this case, blood may be thicker.
Like I said about the Giant's Palm, I can't promise that they would let me in, but also I don't think they would have anything to lose from it. So I don't think it would be an issue necessarily. It's just
What
that
happened with you and the Giant's Palm? And if you don't want to talk about it, I guess whatever, but it probably is going to become relevant.
well, they don't really know what's. To be honest, I don't really know what happened. I was doing a job, and I got rounded up. I think they double-crossed me, and I was going to be sentenced to hang or be beheaded, I don't know, something like that. And before it could happen, I broke out and ran away, and that's when I ended up in Water's Wake, was shortly after that. So I don't really know what happened. I assume that the dragon or the Giant's Palm is what was behind it. I guess I can't necessarily be sure of that.
Wait. So the day that I tried to scam you for the first time, was that like the first day you were at Waterswake?
One of the first couple. I mean, I was kind
Wow.
of just wandering around at that point without much to do before I found that inn and with Loskov and his fighting ring.
So you were only at Waterswake for a little bit before we all fucked off, huh?
Yeah, just about a month.
Wow.
A little longer, maybe.
Fate really just shoved you into my life, huh?
I guess so.
Well, I've lived a very good and virtuous life, and no one hates me, so...
That is curious. For I have many, many millions of enemies. In fact, there seems to be a plot against my life. Every day, I've been poisoned and grow closer to death every second. Thank you, Desmond. That was indeed a joke. I believe time
shit.
may be the
Okay.
chief conspirator of this. Seconds, their lieutenant of minutes. Hours, the commander. Days, nasty general.
Okay, I get it now. I understand. Yeah.
Well, don't blame me. Old people taught me all the jokes that I know.
That makes sense.
But in other words, you don't have an organization or group of people that are out for your head.
Truly no. I imagine some of the crime in Loshar would be happy to see me reincarnated again, but only the most educated truly know there has been a reincarnation, and only the very educated know my name, and, well, only the monks would know my face.
Kind of far away from all that anyway, right?
Correct. So, the minority of people who know me here is even smaller.
Huh. Well, sounds like we're okay then, really. Till we get to the Giant's Palm, and then guess we'll see what happens with Desmond.
I mean, there's also now we have the United Guards of Belka, of Belliclara, I guess,
we all got
and maybe Captain Darrow. I don't think he's after us, but I don't think he likes us either.
Well, if we
Perhaps
see
not
him
actively
again, I'm
hunting
after
us.
him.
But I
And then
don't
there's,
think it would be a good reunion.
And then there's Daku and the other cultists.
Yeah.
And I think that's everyone, unless you have anybody, Kyo.
Well, there are those who see my kind and assume that we mean harm or danger to them because of our size. But in terms of specifics, there is nothing I can think of. Well, it may not matter much, but there was a time when me and the others, the Yormansonu, it was them who I traveled with to Bella Clara.
Oh.
there was a time when we were in Bromsgrove, and, well, there was a group of people who assumed me they assumed me a bad person because of the tattoos on my face. Which I tried to inform them that it was something that I was born with, but they said that it made me a servant of the dark. Whatever that means, I have no idea. But they assumed that I was there to kill the Tsar and destroy the egg. And I had no idea what they were talking about. I told them to leave me alone. I did not know. And one thing led to another, and Balin, he stepped in, and one of these, they called themselves children, which by their manners they were. The man, he wore a white cloak. He tried to attack me. I had never seen Balin act faster. That white cloak was shortly after red. We got on our ship and we left. I do not know how far their reach is, but I do know that they do not like me. And especially after what Balin did, I'm sure that they do not like him either. So, I hope that they do not cause us any issues. I would feel even worse than I do now.
That's good to know.
Sounds like that's kind of far away, though, too, right?
Bromsgrove, yeah. It's pretty
Yes.
far.
It is across the sea.
I mean, I was going to suggest that we skip Belka, go straight down to. We'll skip Belka because there's tons of Belaclara guard there. Like, there's no reason for us to go. It's just going to be way too dangerous at this point. But after we were done in Rivers Run, I was like, we could go to Bromsgrove. They have a much bigger library. But now maybe that wouldn't be the best idea either.
Well, we could head across the northern strait to the Atarashi Islands. Clan Akai has some very old records.
That'd be good too. My only access ever was Belka's library, and when I lived there, was too nervous to actually look for answers. So I'd be very interested in going elsewhere.
Yeah, you know me. I mean, as long as we don't touch Water's Wake, I'm here for the ride.
Are we going to try to clear our names anytime soon, or are we just kind of going to live with it for a hot minute?
Man, we do so
Oh, I'm
much
not
of that.
sure how we do.
I mean, at this point, might as well stop calling us the Runaways and call us the Name Clearers.
I don't know what we would do either.
Cecily does make a good point. We have been doing a lot of that.
Yeah. Keeps biting us in the ass anyway.
So it's either get the hell out of Belaclara and lay low for a while, or deal with a bunch of dudes with shiny metal all over them, swinging swords everywhere we go.
Do we want to skip Rivers Run? There was some good stuff figuring out what was going on with the cult. Because we could just leave Belaclara. But
Man, it's
we
like
would
I
miss.
don't want to bother clearing our name anymore, but I don't want to just leave another fucking thing.
Well, perhaps if we do head south, I've read that, heard around Summer's Rest, that the towns to the south they don't cooperate with the guard as much, and the guard certainly doesn't cooperate with them as much.
Oh, right. Rivers Pass deals a lot with the wilderness, as well
I
as
hear Wild's
Wild's
Edge is even worse.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just try to lay low and see if it's an issue. I think writing to Rose is a good idea.
Yeah, we can do that for sure. I can have my parents send a letter when we're in Giant's Bridge.
Yeah, that'd be
So
good.
maybe-
If we send the letter, they'll probably just come find us somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh
fair
God, I
enough.
hope my
Just plan
parents
on-
aren't in trouble with all this crap. I didn't even think about that.
You guys give them.
No.
Do they have all of our names? I don't remember. Do we need new names?
No. We gave our names to Tommen. So we have no need for new names.
Are we sure that Resnick doesn't know all our names?
That is possible.
I mean, he knew mine, I think.
Yeah, I think he got all 4 of us eventually.
I think we should go to Giant's Bridge, send a letter to Rose, and then make a long-term game plan from there.
Yeah,
If
you're
that's
right.
staying in Bellacara, that's great. If it's heading further south, if it's heading to, I'm sorry, wherever you're from, Ashima, the Itashari.
That is not where I'm from, but it is another location.
Sorry. I'm not very familiar with anything outside of where I've been, to be honest.
Yeah, me either.
No, by no means. I find Atarashi much closer to my own customs, but no, it is not home for me either. Still exotic.
So, Dragon's Bridge. I keep saying that. Fuck you, Skyrim. Giant's Bridge first, and then we'll make a decision.
Yes.
I think
That
that's a
sounds
good
good to me.
Is that okay with you, Kyo?
Oh, well, it seems as though for the current moment and for the majority of the foreseeable future, if I do not stay with you all, I will be on my own. Well, who would I be able to share all of these interesting fun facts with if I'm all by myself?
That's true.
I think we could use you also.
Yeah, you really saved me and Desmond's aspect there.
Yeah, that goblin dude was really scary. Really, really big.
Yes.
And if you've saved them, you've saved all of us. We don't have any intention to let you go on your own.
Well, thank
He
you.
called me that goblin dude called me a scaleback, and I think that's technically racist, but I don't know.
Well, did you call him a goblin dude first?
I think I said Mr. Goblin.
Yeah, I don't know if that was better.
I would say neither of you are in the right.
Yeah.
He did seem pretty upset when I called him a goblin.
You could have just said Mr.
Well, he never gave
Yes.
us a name.
Still didn't have to call him Goblin.
I don't know these things. I'm socially.
I know. But that if I was like Mr. Dragon
It's going in the
Guy,
quotes.
I guess that's not as
They all
offensive, probably.
call me Master Dragonborn. The master thing is whatever, but I mean, so I just kind of figured that's what people say. Miss
Master
Tiefling.
Well,
is not whatever.
Dragonborn
That's
and
what makes it okay.
Goblin in our culture is a little. Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Right. Well, moving on. I do think we have a plan.
And I think we should sleep. First watch, second watch.
Yeah, how many people do we want up per watch?
Oh, we're a small band. I think only one.
Two if you want to shoot the shit.
It's true. I'm willing to take one
Cool.
of them. I can see in the dark fairly well, so I can assist anyone who doesn't.
Watch
All
with
right,
you, Bianca, if that's okay.
I'll take the first one since the most light is out right now, and I don't see too well in the dark.
Okay. Cool. Well, then
All right. So Desmond and I on second watch.
And then, sorry, who again on the first watch?
I think just me.
Second, Bianca and Desmond?
Yeah.
Desmond.
Ho ho ho.
Okay. Okay. So, with that here, you all settle in for the night and you head to sleep. So, Ashima, you on first watch, I'd like you to go ahead and make a perception check for me as you are heading into your first round of watch. Just keeping an eye out. Oh,
Well,
Oh,
all right.
we'll take the 9.
works.
That's fine. That's okay. We'll take the 9.
we'll take the 9.
Spider snake eyes.
Those are eyes with bags under their eyes. That's what they are.
Which is how everyone is
Yeah.
feeling in this moment. Just like, oh,
Yeah.
fuck. So, Ashima, you focus as much as you can, but this has been a hard day. You tried your best to stay as calm as possible, but it hasn't been without its moments of anxiety, to say the least. So there are a few moments where you can feel your eyes lull a little bit as you sort of shock yourself back awake, having to scoot a little bit further away from the campfire, just so that way you're not near that warmth, but keeping that cold near you in order to stay awake. So you try your best, but that does happen a few more times. You try and get up, try and do some movements, but it's rough. So you don't really notice anything too much. But eventually your watch comes and passes and you didn't notice anything. So you awake Bianca and Desmond and change shifts. So, provided you have nothing to say to them.
Nope. Yeah. Didn't see anything.
Well, that's
Alrighty.
good.
So
Sleep
then it,
well, Ashima. I'm sorry about all of this.
Nope. There's nothing to be sorry for. Just quiet, please. Thank you. Good night. Nighty night.
so then, Bianca, Desmond, it's your turn for what?
I feel really bad about what happened today. I kind of feel like it's all my fault.
Why do you feel like it's all your fault?
I don't know. I ran my big dragon mouth and got a bunch of people after us.
I mean, I don't know what Ashima and I would have done if they didn't believe us, because they were pulling out the rats as well. I really wouldn't worry about it too much. Bella Clara's not known for being a great place to live. And we
Yeah.
just really got wrapped up in some of the dark stuff. And that was really scary for you guys. You kept saying that this was a really, really bad day, kind of throughout the whole day, not just at the end. Are you okay? I mean, I know what happened today was not okay and it was bad, but like, did anything else happen?
I didn't sleep very well last night. I have a lot on my mind.
Yeah, you look tired.
I actually I wanted to ask you if you would try to help me learn to read again.
Oh my God, yeah, of course.
I think I have a letter that I need to write soon.
Yeah. I don't think I have any really easy learning books, so I can maybe find some sections of books that aren't too difficult, and then we can practice writing some sentences if you'd like.
I'd really appreciate that.
Yeah. Bianca
I'm
will
going
just
to give
kind
it a
of,
more focused try this time.
right. Bianca will kind of flip through some of her books and maybe find like a page and then like narrow in on a section, like a paragraph that's not, doesn't have too big of words, something kind of easy to sound out. And uh, we'll show Desmond and be like, try reading the first couple sentences. How much do you remember? And we can kind of go over anything else that you forgot. It's been a bit, so don't feel bad if, yeah.
I don't remember very much. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Okay, let's start off with some of the basics again. Oh, my headphones did something weird. That scared me. um, we can start over and then it'll be kind of like riding a bike. Whatever you remember, you'll kind of just start to get go. Riding a bike, that's not a thing. It'll be kind of like driving a cart. Once you know it, you never not know it.
I know I was really close to saying thrown under the bus earlier, so I feel that.
And then Bianca will start to pull up some of the basics, probably just grab a piece of paper and start writing out the alphabet again and kind of figure out where Desmond left off or whatever he remembers.
Okay, sounds good. So the two of you take time, and it does serve as good therapy for you, Desmond, at least a little bit. And so the two of you focused on this. You don't really have. You're not able to focus too much on perceiving your surroundings. But you do make your way. And Desmond, you make some progress with the help you had from Belvedere. With the runes and the alchemical formulas, along with Bianca's help now. Most simple things, probably like at a second or third grade level, as far as we would understand it. Like you can read the hungry caterpillar, and it's okay. There's a few words that you struggle with, but you've got it for the most part.
Sweet.
At least on a very, very basic level. Writing, not so much your game. Reading, though, you're getting there a little bit.
Cool.
So, as the night continues to go on, the two of you practicing and getting ready, probably about halfway through, maybe hour 2 of 4. What's both of yours passive perceptions?
9.
8. Bianca? Uh-oh.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us okay?
Okay, wait, okay. I can hear you guys now. I'm so sorry. My earbuds died, so I had to put in my other ones, and I could hear the music from Roll20, and I was like, so what's going on? Why can't I hear them? Okay, yeah, I'm back.
Your passive perception
Is 10.
Yeah.
So, the two of you just sort of sitting there, working back and forth, focusing on each other. Bianca, you trying to be the best teacher you can. And Desmond, well, you're not exactly the best student, but you're trying. So you work as best you can, and you give as much as you can in this moment. But there is an eerie quietness that comes over the camp. The wind stops blowing. There's no more snow. It is completely gray in the sky.
No stars, no moon, no light at all other than the campfire you have in front of you. You sit, Bianca, Desmond, huddled up next to each other, trying your best to give warmth to one another as you're going back and forth, just murmuring to each other, trying to be quiet. And you notice that eerie silence. And two of you look up, and you don't see anything, at least as far as your vision permits you. And Desmond, do Dragonborn have dark vision?
I don't think so, but let me
Just double check for me real quick.
check. Would it be under features and traits?
Probably, yeah. Because it'd be a
No, I
racial
don't.
feature. No? Okay.
I
Gotcha.
do not.
Okay. So, Desmond, at least as far as your vision can see, it seems like there's really nothing, at least nothing that would alarm you. As far as the campfire goes, there's nothing. But in the immediate area around you, there's no sound, almost as if it's devoid of any life. Branches crackling, even the fire seems quieter. And Bianca, your dark vision is rather extensive. As you look out, you can see that there is this like mist or fog that is just sort of rolling over closer towards all of you. And there's a brief moment where you think you see shadows in that mist. And there's a gust of wind that carries the mist away, and those shadows are no longer there. And you sort of blink, and there's no trace of anything. And as you close your eyes and open them again with another blink, I'm going to go ahead and move you here. And Bianca, right at the edge of your vision, you can see 5 figures. Vaguely humanoid, but jagged, sharp, like spines coming off of them. A deep, translucent blue, 4 of them are, but the other one seems to be in full armor. Humanoid vaguely, but there's something else there too. And they just sort of stare at you at the edge of your vision. You notice at first Desmond's focused on writing a sentence. You can just see those 5 just standing there, staring at you. What do you do?
And they're not making any sudden movements?
No.
How close am I to everyone who's asleep? Because I can either shake them awake if I'm close enough, or I can turn around and say something.
I'd probably say you're a little bit further away. You can't exactly reach them and push them because they're in tents. But you could get up and move towards them.
Okay. Desmond, I see something. It might be dangerous. And she's going to get up and kind of move towards them and open the tents. Guys, wake up. There's something out there. And then she's going to try and keep an eye on them to see if they're making any sudden movements.
You can see them move.
They move closer. Oh, God. Guys, they're getting closer.
Are they in my vision now, too?
No. Are you on the map?
Yeah. Oh, okay. I see. Yes. I understand.
Okay.
Bianca will kind of wait ready so that if anyone makes an attack, she's ready to, like, shoot that one.
Okay.
But she doesn't want to make the first move.
Assuming we're up, I'm gonna get a dodge. I'm gonna take the dodge action, I guess, because I can't see anything.
Okay.
No, I'll even say to Bianca, which way are they? I can't see any of them.
Right, all in front of me, and she's gonna like kind of make a gesture showing that it's like in an arc right across her face.
Oh.
They're just approaching.
And at about this point, you can see all of them make their way into the campfire, and you get a very clear look at them. Almost crystalline in blue, humanoids at one point in time, but now covered in icy shards and crystals, except for the one in the middle. The one in the middle is man, at least he was. They were, except anywhere where there is a hole or rivet in their armor, it is just jutting out with shards of ice. And as they begin to approach, Ashima, you're probably the only one who notices, as you're looking out towards them, you hear the sound of a branch snapping, and you can hear footsteps behind you as you look up the ledge right behind you where the tent is flanked against. You can see another person behind you. You're not exactly sure who it is until they pull down their cloak. And you can see that standing behind all of you is Poe. As he pulls down his cloak, you can see that he's different. You're not exactly sure how, but with that, as he pulls down his cloak, you see Poe, you see these figures approach you. That is where we're going to go ahead and end tonight's session.
No, we have to go longer. Evan, get in here.
Oh my god.
So it's going to be really... I'm going to tell it, but I'm going to be like, you have...
This is a cinematic moment.
Yeah, I'm going to tell Evan, I'm like, you have to be there on Tuesday now, because I brought him...
It's gonna be really weird if he's not. It was Poe, but it was just in our mind.
Yeah, it was just Ashima hallucinating.
Oh, I should have taken those mushrooms while I was on watch. Guys, I'm wigging out.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, that is it for our session tonight. Oh, Bianca's pointed in a different direction because she has dark vision, and it's in a 90-degree cone. So she has to be pointed that way in order to see the enemies approaching from that direction. So that is it for our session today. Thank you so much for watching. I had a lot of fun. I don't know about the rest of you.
I had a great time. So
you know, there are certain
a roller coaster. Here we go, boys.
Yeah, there are certain things as a DM you're never prepared for, and this session was one of them. I wasn't expecting horse side today.
You're never ready for Bianca to shoot a horse.
Oh, I love it though. I loved every second of it. It was crazy. So thank you so much for watching.
Ride or die, man.
Yeah, Bianca's metal.
Literally ride. Die the rider is what she is.
She
make the rider die.
Literally twice now, she saw that Cecily was in trouble, and without asking any questions, was like, "All right, murder is the answer."
And I love Bianca so much for that. I think it's great. But that's it for the session.
You're neutral. There's no sway anywhere. Just.
If you enjoyed
murder,
please leave a follow. We'd love to have more people back. We stream on Tuesdays, the Salamander Coast, which is this campaign. On Fridays, the Explorers of the Pharaoh, which will be back this Friday. And on Saturdays, the Isles of Averion, which is a campaign that is DM'd by me, but written in part with Mark J. Judge, who is Cecily in this campaign. So it's a lot of fun. All three campaigns are fabulous. I love all of them very dearly. All very, very different in look and feel and taste. And smell.
And smell and sound.
And sound. They're all very different. So I encourage you to watch all of them. And leave a follow because we'd love to have you be a part of this here community. Okay, so that is it for this session. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your morning, afternoon, night, whatever it may be for you. And I look forward to seeing you, whether it be Friday, Saturday, or next Tuesday. I can't wait to see you then. Farewell!
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Bye.